Test run. Test run.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing
All right, so
1, 2, 3. Let me go ahead. I'm
so
gonna go
boss,
check. Make sure we
you'll
out
be
there.
able to you'll be able to pull up like our screens too, right? If we have something on the screen.
What you mean?
Like if I get it like on my CPU and I got something on my screen, you can share my screen, can't you?
No, you can share your own screen and everybody will see your screen.
Okay, then I'm about to find a way to do that then, because I want to break down some information.
Like, so you can
this is a
actually log
test
in
run.
twice. Look, if you want to be seen and have the screen seen, you can log in twice, but you're gonna have to mute one on both ends. Let's say like let's say you want to share your computer screen. Just mute your computer, and I'll mute it here so it won't be an echo. And then you can use, let's say, your phone to be seen, but you can use your you feel what I'm saying?
So use each word though, right?
Say that again.
I'll be able to use each word.
He's breaking up. Anybody else hear him?
He sound like a robot, bro.
Yeah, he sounds like a robot.
My bad. I'm going through the trees right now. Will I be able to share our eastward?
My bad. Say it again. I was making sure that we were streaming. I just checked us on the channel, and on the chat, the group, and everything is good. So go ahead.
Will I be able to share eastward?
Yeah, whatever you got on your screen, you can just share it.
All right. That'll work then. That'll work.
Anything you want to share. If you want to share, you know how you do on your lessons, you go back and forth. They see you sometimes, then you switch it back. You can just do it the same exact way.
Okay, bet. So I want to do a talk on fulfillment.
When on the weekend? I mean, on Sunday or
yes,
now?
Yes, Sunday.
From what perspective? Like all the different prophecies,
all things fulfilled,
or the total for prophecy?
Yeah, it's all things fulfilled.
Got you. I'm with it.
I knew it.
Yeah, I want to nip that in the bud so we can see what we're supposed to be doing in the 21st century.
There you go.
But you still gonna have to backpedal though. You know you're gonna have to backpedal with that though, and show them, because they're gonna come up with all this dumb stuff, right? No disrespect to the people with the dumb stuff.
That's why I asked you about Eastward. You said I can show it, so that ain't gonna be no biggie right there, dude. No biggie smalls.
But yeah, we gonna be goody. Hold on, I'm about to share our video too. Hold on.
What's going on, sir?
Well, go and let him let Big Brother Boss share the video first.
No, I can share it while y'all talk. It ain't no big deal. I'm just sharing it just to be sharing it.
No doubt.
Ain't like we talking about nothing, really.
Elvin, you posted earlier today about what you're talking about. I mean, to me, man, it's really simple. Huh?
You talking about the following Christ or following Moses?
Yes. I mean, that was so plain of a teaching, and for these dudes to come on and talk about ignorance and all this other dumb shit that they're talking about, it's like, what are y'all talking about? I mean, that's why I post. I'm like, it's as plain as the nose in your freaking face. He told you, if you believe Moses, you believe me, because I spoke the words that Moses spoke.
Yes.
What the hell?
And see, they think if you say either follow Christ or follow Moses, you're trying to say that you don't have to know anything that Moses is saying. That's not what we're saying. We're saying once you follow Christ, Christ is the completion of what Moses was trying to teach the children of Israel coming out of Egypt.
100%.
So you can't separate them, but you can, because the way that you do separate them is when they start looking at what Moses said carnally, making it carnally minded, as Paul said, that is death. And when you start looking at the commandments and the law as a carnal,
breaking up, bro. You robotic right now. You're in them trees.
Yeah. Go ahead and take it.
No, I didn't hear what you were saying though. I just heard the robotic. But what part was you trying to bring forth? What you were saying, Tony?
I was just saying if once they start doing the law cornerly and try to keep it cornerly, they separate Christ from Moses. And once you do that, then you got to see, are you going to follow Moses or Christ now? Because now you separated it. So now, which one are you going to follow in your separation?
Let me add Joe up in there. Bang, bang. All right, y'all. Joe up in here.
Welcome, up, Joe?
What's up, Joe?
Shalom. What's going on?
Shalom.
What's going on, fellas?
Shalom, bro.
Yeah, man. Peace and love,
I see
man. May y'all bless us all.
Amen.
On this lovely night, man.
Amen.
We doing a test run. We on Facebook right now and trying to see how it look for the stream Sunday.
For sure. I'm eagerly awaiting.
Yes, sir. So we just the subject matter. We're gonna talk about fulfillment, sort of like.
Yeah, I've been here for a while.
Oh, okay. I didn't even see you. That's my bad. As soon as I saw you, I pulled you right in. That's my bad.
Don't worry. He did me the same way.
My bad.
No, y'all good, man. You know, it's all peace and love, man.
I had to send him a message and tell him to let me in.
Yeah, I seen where you sent the message at.
Yes, sir. But we just throwing some ideas out right now. So yeah, Tony, the dude he make the separation. And what I don't do and what I refuse to do now is someone going to start name calling and trying to insult somebody's intelligence. I'm not going to talk to them. I'm just not going to talk to them no more.
I mean, if we can't come together,
I've been told you that
for a greater purpose and cancel all the like. I'm like this, like just in case you guys don't know, I'm pretty sure you've been informed. I am Tanakh only, right? But that doesn't stop me from building with my brethren, man. We was on the phone for how long the other night, Elvin? Like three and a half hours?
Yeah, about 3.5 hours.
You know what I mean? Like I build with my brethren because one thing about it, two things for sure. We are evenly yoked in this captivity, man. You know what I mean? Nobody has it no better than anybody else. So I don't deem what someone adheres to, even if it's different from mine, as being irrelevant or unnecessary, because for 20 years of my life I was a devout Christian, man. I used to go to prisons and all kind of stuff, you know what I mean? Like devout. Man. So I don't scoff, you know what I mean? I've been in the role.
You have an open mind.
Yeah, I have an open mind, man. Like you can tell by my spirit, man. I come to dialect and politics, right? For one, I don't debate because words can't beat words, right? At the end of the day, it's all about belief, and belief is personal perceptive, and I'll explain what I mean when I say that, right? If you're a sports fan, right? Just say, for instance, you like the Oakland Raiders. I don't, but just say you do, right? To you, they may be the team, the marquee team, but statistically, they are not the best, right? But that does not negate your personal belief. So as long as your personal belief is intact, and you know what I mean, there's nothing I can do to offend you. And I'm not coming to offend. I'm not stepping on any beliefs, any understandings, anything you adhere to. Look, I respect all of that. You know what I mean? And I am one of them guys that comes with the shenanigans. You know what I mean? But hey, it is what it is, though. It is what it is, though, man. It's all love, man. It's all love.
I ain't mad.
It's all love, man.
But yeah, before like when people look at us in our community has already been deemed bad because of how some of the so-called leaders had, presented it. You know what I'm saying?
True.
Like we can't dialogue like intelligent gentlemen and women amongst the community. Everybody got to. It seems like everybody feel like that the only way that they can get a point across is by insults. And if we're gonna be, if we're gonna be an example, you get me, Tony? Because if we're gonna be an example on how to do things, somebody got to finally stand up and say, "I'm not gonna talk to you if you're gonna be doing that." Because to me, That's like a fool. That's a fool's man game right there. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna play the shenanigans like that anymore. So as soon as somebody called me stupid or ignorant, I'm done with the conversation. You can have it how you want to have it, and then I don't care if you march out in the street for 18 hours straight screaming at people. That's on you.
Let
That
me let you
ain't
in on
me.
something, Elvin, man, and this will make you feel a lot better about that, right? So when people call you stupid, just like on the inside, laugh at it, and I'll tell you why, right? Because they don't understand what the meaning of the word is. If they did, they wouldn't call you stupid, right? So just for educational purposes, it's not a trial on anybody's intelligence or the level of your retention for information. But do any one of you know what the word stupid actually means?
Well, I never just Googled now or westernized it. Now Western Dictionary did. Now
I
go
mean, you
ahead and
can't.
break
I
it
mean,
out.
you can trust that to an extent, but then another dictionary will give you a completely different look into it, and I'll explain to you what it is, right? Like I said, I'm big in vernacular, 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 vernacular. How was it used in the language it was used in, the language it originated in, and does it correlate in this language with the way it was originally planned to be used or originally designed to be used? If it doesn't, it's a mistranslation or a mistransliteration. Fact, right? So when you look at the word stupid, a lot of people thinks it means to lack intelligence. It does not mean to lack intelligence. If you were to come home from a long day at work and you stick your key in the door, you come in the house, you go upstairs, and your wife is spread eagle in the bed with the pool boy. You know what I mean? You're at a loss for words momentarily, right?
Right,
That
right.
terminology would be in the same sense to say I walked into the room and what I saw had me stupefied.
Hey,
Stupid
brother,
and dummy.
y'all go ahead and keep talking.
Stupid and dummy are synonymous because dumb does not mean lack of knowledge. Even in the New Testament, when they use the word dumb, it means mute. You can't speak. It's the uh, incapability of speak, of forming vocal patterns, right? You will be a mute or a dummy. This is why those puppets that sit on the laps of the ventriloquists are called dummies, right? To walk into a room and see your wife spread eagle with the pool boy, but also have you
Testing.
dumbfounded.
Can you guys hear me?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, we
Shalom,
can hear you.
shalom.
I'm just checking.
But yeah, to be called stupid, it just means to lack the ability to speak. And if we're speaking and you call me stupid, then it's clear that you don't understand the vernacular of the words you're using. I can't get mad at you. It's like a baby that comes up to you and say, I want some of that water because Thursday. You know what I mean?
Hey,
Like
so
I can't get mad at the baby. I ain't gonna get mad
hey,
at the
fellas,
baby. So
question. Y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear
absolutely.
you.
Yeah.
Somebody want a question answered. Somebody asked a question in the chat. So hold on. Do any of you believe the Mexicans today are the tribe of what's that?
Absolutely not.
Answer car. Answer car.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely
It,
not.
okay, go ahead and
Hell to
break
the
It is
that
no.
down.
definitely
We
not.
no, sir. Not going down.
I'm gonna tell
Hello,
you.
what
Not
chat?
going
What
down.
chat? Hello. Where's this coming from? What chat is this? Is this on Facebook?
Facebook. Yeah.
Let me
Yeah,
let
it's
me
on
Wow.
Facebook.
let me
It's
tell him
safe.
why. Let me
Yeah.
tell him why that's a big issue. So
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, go ahead.
it, y'all gotta really think about what a lot of Hebrew Israelites be teaching in their camps. So we if you know how DNA works, right? The male the male DNA gene the male DNA gene tends stays the same throughout each child that a person has. So say I'm African American, right? And I have a kid. My kid's Y DNA is what they call it, the male
Mm-hmm.
line of blood. My kid's DNA is going to be under the same group as mine. So my DNA is haplogroup E, is what they call it. So my kid's DNA is going to be under haplogroup E. So if you have, say, Abraham, he had his not Abraham, Jacob is haplogroup whatever. Let's just say he's haplogroup E, and he had his 12 kids. All 12 of his kids is going to be haplogroup E. Now,
Absolutely.
when Mexicans, they don't have the same haplogroup as us. They have a totally separate haplogroup. They have either Spanish European ancestry or whatever Native American ancestry that they have. So our haplogroup would be haplogroup E, and their haplogroup would be haplogroup, say, R or N or something like that. Totally separate from ours. So they can't be from Isaac if their blood is a totally separate DNA strain. If that makes any sense. Same thing with
Yo, say
people.
that again.
You're making big sense, brother.
They can't be the same ethnicity as us. They can't be the same race as us, or they can't be from the same line of direct lineage as us because their blood is a totally separate their blood is
Haplotype.
a haplotype, haplogroup. So it's impossible. The same thing with Jacob and Esau, where they say some people say the Romans are Esau, white people are Esau, and we're the Israelites. So
how's that possible?
how is that possible? We're haplogroup E, and most Europeans are haplogroup R. If white people was Esau, they would also be haplogroup E, just like us, because Esau was the twin brother of Jacob.
Facts.
Can I say
So
this?
And they were identical twins. Identical twins.
You read Josephus. They look the same. You read Josephus, the Jew from the 1st century. He says everything alike. They were all everything alike except for the hairiness of their skin.
Can I add to what you just said?
And that's what they misconstrue all the time. That it was just referring to his hairiness.
It's hairy because it's a translational error. That's what it is in the King James. So slight translational error. They see red and think that he's pink, like modern European. When it's the same red as King it's the same red that King David was the color
ready. You know what I mean?
Red. It's the same
100%.
Not only that,
it's the natural color of clay. It's
clay.
Ready.
Yes,
the natural color of clay.
Yep.
Red soil.
I want to add something to what you said real quick, and I want to give you the floor right back because what you said is very intelligent, brother. Two things. One, a lot of people you'll hear a lot of people, and I don't refer to people who involve themselves in organizations or gatherings as campers, because that's just like calling them, oh, look at them niggas over there, look at them gangsters, look at them thugs. You just labeling yourself, right? So I don't do the labeling. I just say the brothers who adhere to that, you know what I mean? They a lot of them say Esau. Well, all of them say Esau is the
sound like a robot.
I'm good. Okay. Can you hear me now?
I hear you straight.
I hear him straight. You might have an internet issue.
Yeah. He's straight down. Go
ahead.
Okay. All right. Okay, big hug. All right. But yeah.
You going?
Hello. He got.
Huh?
Go ahead.
He was going.
Okay. Well, they you'll hear him say Esau is the devil, and the reason they say that is because they're looking at what we said earlier, vernacular. They're looking at the vernacular of the word wrong. You see, Sa'ir, or Strong's Hebrew 8163. It's the Lashon Ha'abaram, or what the Latins call Hebrew. The Hebrew word for devil, for goat, rough, shaggy, hairy, kid, satyr, fawn, he-goat. Anytime you want to say goat, male goat, young goat, goatlet, hairy, shaggy, you would say Sa'ir, right? So when they read the line that Wa Esau Hosayir, they are thinking that it says Esau is the devil. No, it was saying he was shaggy. He was hairy.
It was hairy,
because, yeah. Sa'ir also describes hairy and shaggy.
Hey, bro. Bro.
Somebody said that
last piece. Let me say this.
Go ahead, Tony. I'm sorry.
I'm having a hard time hearing him. because he broke up like a robot. He really did.
I'm sorry.
The last 10
No, but
seconds
I
of
heard
his
him perfectly though.
We heard him perfectly.
dialogue.
It might be a slight internet
I
issue
can I can say
with
that
him.
again if you want me to, bro. It's no issue.
But
So
is
say
there
it
any
Any,
more
again.
question?
No
Oh, is
problem.
there any
Please
but
say it
is there
again
any
for
more
the
Yeah,
people.
yeah, I
questions?
was gonna say
it,
Yeah.
that the
it was
person
one
in
more
the
little
chat
point I
has
wanted
said
to make, right?
Esau and Jacob were never the same. He
Go
said
let
there
let
were two
Yeah.
separate
I mean,
nations
yeah,
in the mother's
they're two
let me
womb.
separate, but that's all children.
let me
Like,
tell him. Let me tell him.
100% so. 100% so.
Let me tell him. Give him a source. Go read Flavius Josephus. Now, if you don't know who Flavius Josephus is, he was a first century Jew. He was a real, actual. When everyone knew who the Jews were, Jew. That's what he was.
A
And he,
Levite at that.
Right.
a well learned
Yeah.
Jew.
Yeah.
He dealt with Edomites in the first century. He knew what they looked like. So go read what he said about Jacob and Esau. He writes a whole in his book called Antiquities of the Jews. That's his book.
yep,
Jacob and Esau. Flavius Josephus,
Hmm.
Antiquity of the Jews. Go read his book. He literally
Matter of
says
fact, I'm about to show you the
Jacob.
book.
He can pull it up. Actually, so one of y'all could pull it up. I could pull it up.
I got the hardcover, so
But it's easier to pull it up on
yep, that's
the
it.
web the web. I have the hard book too. It's easier to pull up on the so you could actually show them. Actually, I probably could pull it up,
like pull
but
it up and oh yeah, I
yeah,
got you.
I'll pull it up after I finish telling him about it. But
I got you.
he literally says Jacob and Esau were everything was the same about them. The only thing that differed between them was the hairiness of the skin. This is why the Bible says Jacob. This is why Jacob put on
The goat skin.
the goat skin because the goat skin was hairy, and
Yep.
when Isaac touched him, if his skin would have been smooth, he would have
Love you,
known.
Daryl. I love
He,
you, bro.
and I think
That's
somewhere
facts.
does it say somewhere in the Bible that Jacob was smooth
Yeah,
skin?
no, it says it right there in that same very chapter. Rebecca tells him to look, put the goat skin on because you know your brother Esau's hairy,
Hairy,
and
and you're
Right. Your
put on
brother's
his
hairy
garment
and you're
too, so
not.
you could smell like him.
yeah.
So he had to put
So
on his garment too, so he could
read
smell like him.
yeah
Look like it, smell like it, feel like it, the whole nine.
read Flavius Josephus. He said they were everything alike except for the hairiness of the skin. That was their only
Look,
difference.
you
And
can
if you
even
don't,
get you can get more literal and modern than that by
Y-
even saying that fraternal twins are born in two separate sacks.
No, but
You're
there's a
not gonna grab my heel unless we're in the same sack.
no, but
Facts.
there's a thing called I think it's called infraternal where the twins come out differently, but that's what they're saying that they
Yeah,
were.
that's fraternal, but they're in two separate sacks inside the womb. You cannot grab my heel from your sack when I'm in a completely separate sack.
Facts. Facts.
If
and
you're grabbing my heel, we're in the same sack. That's
and,
Yeah,
identical.
and,
But
You
this
don't.
is a
and for the
pattern,
Facts.
though.
Now,
right,
that's one I didn't
yeah.
right.
think about. That's one of the ones I
I
didn't
never
think
heard of
about.
that, but
That's a
that makes
fact.
sense. That makes
And
Yep.
sense.
for the
But the
audience
thing,
out there,
yo,
I got a breakdown on my YouTube channel all about it. This shows the sources and sites and stuff.
I could pull up the
AOSD
source.
CHANDLER. Go to the go to the site and like the
There,
YouTube channel.
there's nothing you're gonna be. There's no modern day interpretation that's gonna trump an actual Jew from the first century. You can
100%.
you can't bring up nobody no matter what
y'all
interpretation
sound
they
like
come with.
robots right now to me. Let me move.
We all good. I
I
hear
need to
all of
move
us
through the
clean.
house or something like that to get a better
It's
connection
you
or
Hey,
gotta
something, man.
but guys, you got to understand though that they were asking about the Hispanics though, so we jumped on Jacob and Esau, which
I
is cool because
I thought
No,
we
they
they
brought
showing
him up
established
too.
that
everything.
from the
no
jump.
I brung up why Hispanics aren't
Right.
Yeah,
So we got that.
we
So is
covered
there
that.
any more questions? Is there any other questions though?
y'all can bring as
Not
many
right
questions
now.
as you.
I
Not
bet.
right now. They was just saying that Esau and Jacob were never the same, and
Right.
they were two nations.
Yeah,
Blah
they
blah.
Now,
had
That's
said
all.
that.
I will say this: some Hispanics are Negro, right? And
Exactly, but
I'll explain this to
let
you.
me
Some
say this.
Hispanics are Israelites, and this
Oh,
is why I
somebody
say
said
that.
they're Asian.
I don't know what the hell
Um,
they are.
it's all right.
They ain't us.
Hispanics, like
They
Native
were
American,
called
like
Deans, man.
Yeah, yeah,
My
probably so.
brother
I don't know.
Alvin brought this up
Yeah.
today in a Facebook post about them being called Deans.
if they were
And this is something that
Chaldeans,
I believe before he brought this out.
if they were, but look, here's the thing: if they were Chaldeans, Chaldeans were the same blood as the Israelites. So if they were Chaldeans, then that would technically make them
They
have
would
it.
Well,
come
I'm
from.
saying what I'm
They're the
saying
same
is
blood
that
as
the
Shem.
Israelites came out of the Chaldeans from
What?
Abraham
Whoa.
before them because they were from
You said the
Shem.
Chaldeans
The
were the same
Israelites
blood as
came from
Israel?
Shem.
Yeah, the Chaldeans
Yes.
were
The
Yes, that's where
Israelites
it
are
came
Chaldeans.
from. Abraham.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Chal-
Abraham was a Chaldean.
yeah, he was from
Chaldean. Chaldeans
Arphaxad.
are from Shem.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
Arphaxad.
Israel, Israel's only from Jacob.
exactly.
There's a bunch of
What?
Hebrews.
Yeah,
You
but
got Hebrew
But
Ammonites,
No,
Hebrew
you
but
gotta go
listen
Moabites.
to this.
to
you
the
can't
Shem,
say
father.
Chaldeans, Abraham. Who did Abraham come from? I mean, who came after Abraham to
it's
get
the
to Jacob?
Isaac,
yeah.
Right?
Abraham,
Yeah,
Isaac, Jacob.
yeah.
So they was all
So
Chaldeans.
So they'd have the
Yeah.
yeah,
same.
they all Chaldeans.
They'd
They're
have the
all
same
You got
blood.
to
Chaldeans,
remember
man. Come
something that
on.
Elvin actually put in his post today too was they got adopted into Israel because his name was Jacob and he adopted the
Right.
name Israel. You feel me? Something that he
That's
said.
what people gotta. And I want to bring that out real fast. People gotta understand the only reason why there was a quote unquote Israelite bloodline is because of a name change. It wasn't a blood. It wasn't a
The
blood
name
change.
change. That's it.
It was a
That's
name
it.
change.
And their
So
blood was
they
still
were
Yeah,
Arphaxad.
they're still
right.
Jacob.
They
He
still
still refers to him as Jacob
They're
and
still
Israel.
they're still
they're still
Chaldeans.
Chaldeans. They're still
Is what it is.
Chaldeans.
So if
They're
they
still
would
Chaldeans.
if you would have seen Chaldeans at that time, they did look exactly the same as Israelites, basically. More
So
or less, they would look like the same people,
What
except
does
like their
look got to
clothing
do
would be
with it?
different.
What
yeah,
does
Yeah.
look
like
got to do with it? Tell me.
do the
What does
Chaldeans come
look
from
got to do
Jacob?
with it?
Is the
Tell me,
question.
Do,
please.
Well,
I, I, I,
No, Jacob came from a Chaldean.
he came from.
Right.
I'm gonna give you an example. So
Exactly.
Jamaicans look like Haitians. Haitians look like Bahamians. It's all the same people. It's just different different culture.
So our own people took us into
Yo,
captivity.
let me tell you
Yeah,
something.
it is our own
Listen.
people, but
I lived in an island
Yes.
when I was.
it's
I
the
lived in
same.
an
It's the
island.
same with the
Yes.
Chaldeans.
Yes.
It's their own people. It's just they split off
You got
from.
to understand, it
Yeah,
wasn't a
but
racist thing back then. It was a racist thing as far as color. It was
Yeah,
just a
it was
power, like
just
a power
I
structure.
understand that.
It
It
was
was more so
culture,
like a power structure.
it was cultural
But
Yeah.
differences.
the thing I'm vocalizing is everywhere you read in scripture, anyone who's not Israel or Egypt or Syria is referred. Well, at one point it was Egypt as well, referred to as strangers. Like if
Yeah,
these are our
yeah.
kinsmen, they would not be called strangers.
It
They will be
uh
called kinsmen, even if they're not
See,
our direct
this is
brethren.
see
They will be called kinsmen. Like even with Esau,
this
down the
is the
line,
no,
Jacob was telling their children, them are our kinsmen.
it's just farther
yeah.
off
See,
bloodlines. That's all
right.
it was. But they
The
fell
only
under the
thing that's
same.
right.
Oh, go
The
Albert.
only thing that's going on in scripture. The only thing that's going on in scripture is they're using what happened with Jacob as
Mhm.
in him getting adopted. They're using that for the new church on their adoption, for them to be the same people, but be called by the name of the Lord. Just like
The
Jacob
name,
was
exactly. The name
Chaldean,
ain't got
but
nothing to do with
he was
skin
being
color.
called
None
by
of
the
that.
name of the Lord. Right.
No. It's
That's
not.
all
I'm
it
not
is.
saying that it. But I'm saying that I agree with Albert. It's they were blood wise. They were the same group of people. It was
Okay,
just
so Ur is the land of Chaldea, right?
yeah. That's
Right.
where Abraham came
Exactly.
out of.
Yep.
But it said Abraham was a stranger in the land of Ur. Like why would it call him a stranger in the
Oh
land
boy,
of
here we go.
people from his own heritage? Like that's the question I'm asking. I'm trying to figure it out.
His
You know
father
what I
I
mean?
bet, I got you.
Like I'm
who was Abraham?
inquiring. You know what I
Who,
mean?
who was Abraham's father? I forgot who it was.
Terah,
Tira.
Terah. Who was Terah's father?
Terah,
Nahor,
Or whatever. Tira
Who
Torah. Yeah.
who was his father?
Nahor,
It was Arphaxad.
Serug.
Yeah.
Baruch.
Orphasized.
No,
Arphaxad
to
it
Shem.
was
It all
Serug,
goes
and
back to
then after
Shem.
Serug,
from
listen.
Shem,
From Arphaxad came
the
uh
Chaldeans.
from Arphaxad came
The Chaldeans.
Pelag, and came Abar. From Abar came Pelag, and then Ru, and then Serug, and then Nahor, and then
Yeah.
Terah, and then
Right.
Haran
Right.
and Abraham. Right. So
Right.
yeah,
So
that's
they
what
was
I'm
all
saying.
Shem. So they was
Yeah, that was all
Chaldeans.
Shem. Now I'm not saying the Chaldeans don't come from Shem. That's not what I'm saying.
No.
I'm just saying, like, the
Ur was a
Arabic
place
people
in
come from Shem.
Ur was a place in
That's your
Chaldea.
brother, though.
Yeah,
Anybody
we're
that
all
came
kinsmen. Yeah, we're all kinsmen,
The
but
person.
Okay,
not
hold
brethren.
on. So I think what's going on, you're trying to separate the bloodlines, try to make Israel not be what Ur is.
That's not what I'm trying to do. What I'm saying
Okay,
is
so
there's a
now,
difference
so check this
between
out. Okay,
okay,
let me ask you a question.
okay.
Was Nahor a Chaldean?
Nahor?
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, he was from Shem, right? So
Yes.
if you
Was
want
he
to
a
say all
Chaldean?
Shemites, if you want to say all Shemites are
He
Chaldeans,
was a Chaldean.
No,
He was.
not all. Look,
Yeah, not all.
not all Shemites were Chaldeans because Shem had multiple children. The ones that fell under
We
Arphaxad,
know that. What we're saying is that what he's asking is that was Abraham a Chaldean? And he was.
yeah, that's what
yeah.
I
Yeah.
So
So
brought
why
up.
that wasn't the question I was asking. What I was asking
He
was
said, "Why
why
is he
would they refer to him
him
as
as
a
a stranger?"
stranger amongst his own people?
What verse is that?
yeah, go to the Bible.
The
What we
the the land
what,
that you are currently in, a stranger in. This is what he told Abraham before he even promised him, that he
You know
was
the
going. This is
scripture? I'll
Wasn't it?
pull it out.
yeah. I'm finna
Was it
pull it
when?
up for you.
Was it when
I'm,
God talked to Abraham and he promised?
You know how we do, Joe. We like
yeah,
to
you
read
know
it.
how it is. We like you know how we do.
yeah, because I
We
think what
like
you're
to pull
talking
it up.
about.
I think he's talking about when God promised to give Abraham that land, and he said something. He
Right.
said
That's what I
something
think he's
there.
talking
Something there.
about.
I don't think
Yeah,
it was
I think.
saying. We'll go see.
I,
We'll go see what it is.
yeah. I think he was talking about the promise he gave about the land of Canaan.
Oh, the
I think.
land promise?
Yeah, the land promise.
Yeah.
I
I
think he.
think that's what he's quoting from.
I think he told Abraham that he would be a stranger in a foreign land. That's what I think it
Yeah.
was. It wasn't that he was a stranger in his own land. He knew his people. He knew the people pretty well and their culture and their gods and stuff. He just
All
Right.
right, so it's
Because
Genesis 23. So we're gonna go
Genesis
to
23.
Genesis 23.
Pull it up on the If
This
you
is.
don't, I've been on
I mean, I don't know how to. This is my first time ever.
I got you. I've been on StreamYard before. Go to there's a little share button at the bottom. It's like a little TV
Okay,
Hold
looking.
on,
never
let me
mind. No,
hold
it's not Genesis 23. Hold
It's
on a
not
second. Hold on a second. It's not
on.
Genesis
Let me
23.
pull up my
because
eastward.
hold on. Because in Genesis chapter 11, right? Genesis
Google.
Pull up
chapter
my
11,
eastward.
he actually tells him where everybody came from in Genesis 11.
Just go to
Right.
Abraham. Type Abraham promised the land of Canaan in Google, and it'll come up.
Right. But I think that's Genesis 15, ain't it?
15. It's Genesis 15.
Yeah,
Genesis
Genesis
I'm
15.
trying to pull up my
15.
eastward right now. Give me a second. Give me a second. I'm pulling up my eastward.
I use blue
I
letter.
should probably pull it up.
Yeah, don't forget now, I'm driving, so I'm going off the top of my head.
Yeah,
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 you
you
good.
are.
You
I know.
good.
I see you down there with
I'm
me.
good.
I see
Start
you down there
driving.
with
So
me.
yeah, come on with it.
So,
Hey, strength
Genesis
and peace
15
to
and
you
what?
too behind that wheel. Strength and peace
15
to
and
you.
what?
appreciate you. Go down to what, 19-ish,
Hold
maybe,
on, I'm finna
It's
see now.
23,
Genesis 15 and Genesis 15 and 13.
13. Okay,
13.
I was close.
He was close.
All right, hold up.
He said no first. Wait, no.
And said Genesis 15 and 13, and he said unto Abraham,
That's not it.
know
That's not
of
it.
a
That's
surety.
not it. That's not
That's
it.
not
That's
it.
not
Yeah.
it. That's not it. That's not it.
And what we looking for again? I forgot what we looking for.
What we talking about? He's telling Abraham. See,
Yeah,
this is they ain't even thought about. Abraham is in a different land. This is before he even, tells him to walk before me and be perfect.
yeah, Ur of Chald. He's in the Ur of Chaldees, and then he tells him to leave, and leave his father's house. Let me
Yep.
see.
About to share my screen. Give me
Go
1
ahead.
second. Bang,
It's in
bang.
Genesis.
11, I think.
Hold on.
I got it. I'm gonna Google it. No, not Genesis 11.
Genesis 12.
Nah.
Genesis 12 and 1. Genesis 12 and 1.
12 and 1. Okay.
Genesis 12 and 1. Give me 1 second. About to pull it up. Genesis 12.
Oh no, it
Verse
doesn't say.
1.
It doesn't say that he's a stranger.
I know.
Now the
I'm showing.
Lord.
I'm showing. I'm showing
Y'all
Yeah,
see
he
it?
wasn't a stranger.
he wasn't a stranger. It's
Yeah.
not
See,
saying.
but
Right.
look, it's saying the
You see it right
kinsman.
here. This right here. Y'all
Get
see
it?
it?
Hold on. Let him read it. Let him read it. Genesis 12:1. Let him read
Listen. It said, and listen to what he's saying to him, right? It says, now the Lord said to Abraham, get thee out of thy country and out of thy kindred and from thy father's house. Like, well, listen.
Yeah, I'm starting
Where,
days back there.
where
I got
was he
pools back
living?
there right now.
Tony,
What,
mute yourself.
Can y'all hear me? I don't know. My mic might be messing up.
No, no,
Yeah, I can hear you.
we can hear you.
Okay. Listen. All
Right
right.
here, y'all see
It says this is verse 1.
Uh-huh.
It says
Hold up, Tony.
now the Lord said to Abraham.
Tony, mute yourself.
Well, hold on 1 second. What did you say?
Tony.
y'all see the screen? Look on the screen. Tell me what y'all see.
I
We
think you
see
can
it.
move.
Light under your bed.
Yeah, I can see it. I see it. I see it.
Okay. I don't know how to
I see it.
pull.
And boss,
I'm
you can
looking
mute
at it
whoever
myself.
that you want to.
Yeah, I'm gonna mute him up right now. Hold on,
Yeah,
give me a
mute him.
second. Let me get back to him.
Yeah. But it says, go out of thy country and thy house. So where was he at when he was telling them that?
He was in his country.
He was in Chaldea.
He was in Ur of Chaldea. So those were his people, basically.
Right.
But he didn't like
All right. That his kinsmen were the people of the country or the people of the household?
both.
Both.
Both?
They was in Ur.
Yeah.
Yeah, they was in Ur. Both.
He was in the place where the Chaldeans stayed, and that's all of his father and his brothers,
So
and you know.
so Afraxad is the father of all Chaldea.
Yeah. Well, no, it might have been. There's another child that Arphaxad had, I think, and his name was and it was one and Kalsdim or something like that. That was one of Arphaxad's kids, and something like that. Let me see Arphaxad's lineage real quick.
Where we going?
Which one was which?
I got everything up. You just tell me where to go. I got y'all.
Just Google Arphaxad and put the Wikipedia, and it'll show who he was. Let me see. Maybe Josephus. Maybe Josephus has it somewhere. Josephus talks about it. Let me go pull up Antiquities too.
Hey, start at Genesis 11. Genesis 11, start reading at verse 13.
Genesis 11, verse 13.
Start reading at verse 13.
Y'all see it? Y'all see my screen?
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah,
all right.
I see it.
And Aprix lived after he begot Salah 403 years and begot sons and daughters. And Salah lived 30. What the heck? Oh, my bad. Salah lived 30 years and begot Eber. And Salah lived after he begot Eber 403 years and begot sons and daughters. And Eber lived 430 years and begot Peleg. And Eber lived after he begot Peleg 430 years and begot sons and daughters. And Peleg lived 30 years and begot Reu. And Peleg lived after he begot Reu 209 years and begot sons and daughters. And Reu lived 230 years and begot Saruj. And Reu lived after he begot Saruj 207 years and begot sons and daughters. And Saruj, excuse me, my bad. And Saruj lived 30 years and begot Noah. And Saruj lived after he begot, I can't enunciate, you know me. After he begot Nahor 200 years and begot sons and daughters. And Nahor lived 9 and 20 years and begot Terah. And Nahor lived after he begot Terah 119 years and begot sons and daughters. And Terah lived 70 years and begot Abraham, Nahor, and Haran. Now these are the generations of Terah. Terah begot Abraham, Nahor, and Haran begot Lot. And Haran died before his father Terah in the land of his nativity, and Ur of the Chaldees.
Right there.
Yeah.
So his brother's land of his nativity was Ur. So if his brother's native land was Ur, Abraham's native land had to be Ur also.
Not only that, I have Josephus, he says, he says the Arphaxad was the father of the Chaldeans. He says,
Yes, I made that quote today on my Facebook. But go ahead and read it. Go ahead, my brother.
let me pull it up. Well, I have it already up. Let me share the screen. Okay. Share screen. Can y'all see?
No,
I can't.
no. We
Wait, hold
just
up.
see your logo, your little, your picture.
Share window. Is it entire screen?
You have to share and find the exact screen thing you want to share. Then that's what I had to do.
All right, hold up.
And hold on, I'm gonna stop sharing mine though. Hold on, let me stop sharing.
Yeah, that's why mine's not popping up.
Yeah, that's my bad. Yeah, I stopped sharing mine. I go ahead and share yours now. Where Tony at? Tony left out.
Tony, you go?
Yeah, Tony gone. He'll be back, I guess.
Oh, he's in the backstage. Oh no, that's Joe. That's Joe. Can y'all see?
I'm about to let it up now. I'm about to add it now. Boom. I just added to the screen.
Do y'all see?
Yeah, we see it.
All right. It says Arphaxad named the Arphaxadites, who are now called Chaldeans. And this is Josephus. He goes
Oh
through the
man,
whole.
Joe left, yo.
Aram had the Aramites, which I think are the Arameans, and the Greek, which the Greeks called no. Yeah, the Greeks called Syrians. So those are the Syrians. But yeah, Arphaxad, Chaldeans. And this he says who are now called Chaldeans. So during Josephus's time, the Chaldeans were still around.
Yep.
Wherever the heck they were. So I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. That's basically all I wanted to share. So yeah. Blood was basically.
Hey, you get booted out?
Joe, Joe is not in,
Hello?
and
Oh,
hello.
oh.
Joe is not in, and Tony is not in.
It says Joe is waiting on the. He said he's waiting on the stage.
Oh, I'm waiting. I don't see him. I'm scoping on him. Oh, it's spinning.
How much time this was supposed to run?
We got a little while. I'm about to move my restart time. My computer wants to restart. I'm gonna move it to
move it. Just delay it.
to 3:00. We should be off by 3.
It wants to update. Oh, Joe typed in the WhatsApp.
I got you. Let me go see what he said.
He said, "I don't know what's going on. I'm trying to get back in. I don't know what's going on." That's what he said.
Tell him just try to click the link again.
Yeah, click the link again and keep trying to rejoin. But yeah, that's it. It's Josephus helps, man. Elvin, you still there?
No, he did. He ain't saying nothing.
Yeah, he ain't saying nothing.
Yeah, I wonder. He might be because he driving. He might be in a bad spot though.
Yeah.
That's Elvin right there.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's up?
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, can you hear us? Can you hear us? Yeah, man. Yeah, he working, so that's why that's happening. So, Demetrius, what's up, brother? You got nothing to add? Huh?
Man, no, man. I don't. No, y'all doing all that lineage stuff. Man, I wasn't brought up in that lineage stuff. Y'all know that stuff more than I do.
Now I feel you. Like I'm probably the
y'all
least
break it
versed though
all
out
up.
of everybody with the lineage myself, though. You know what I mean?
I
Yeah.
just, you know,
I just know a little bit of it, and I know what I do understand is the flow of it. You know what I mean? I understand the
Right.
flow. Like I don't
Yeah.
remember everybody. You know, they remember everybody's grandfather on the phone, but me, like I don't
you
remember their
you
grandfather.
was what you mean? You was listing
Right.
Abraham's father, and I didn't even I don't even remember that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
forgot.
I remember. I
It's
understand what Joe
been a
was
while.
talking about, what he was trying to say about being in a distant land and things like that. So I know I understood what he was saying about that, but y'all
But he
got to talking about all the fathers and all that other stuff, man. I didn't know nothing
No,
it's
about
but
cause
yeah,
that.
we were just trying to prove that
he
you
wasn't a
know
stranger.
that
He wasn't a stranger in the land of Ur of Chaldees. That he
right.
Right.
was
He was
it
Chaldean.
wasn't he. I think he got a verse mixed up somewhere, but he wasn't a stranger in the Ur of Chaldees. He was. That's where his
Right.
people
Right.
were. So
Right.
Yeah.
And
I
it
think
is
that
just like
land was.
and what brought all of this on was the inconsistency of everybody thinking that Esau is a so-called quote unquote white
white man.
person,
Yeah,
and
Right.
then the
Right.
Issachar being that 12 tribe chart basically
sure.
is incorrect. You know
It
what I mean?
can't be correct.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%
Yeah.
false. Right?
Hey, he
They would
broke it
all
down. Broke it down real good, man.
they will
Yeah.
all
Real
be haplogroup E basically, and a different version of haplogroup E, but they would all be haplogroup E, and that
That's not.
you don't see that. So
No. That's what I'm
it,
saying. That's why they running around here like not trying to be funny and nothing disrespectful. Just calling a spade a spade. These so-called
right.
campers, right? They come up with these ideologies out of
that don't
these
make sense.
uh like these mindsets that they have, and I ain't mad at them, like because a lot of this stuff make a great movie, right? So they come out, yo,
It does.
you know I ain't lying, yo,
It
you know
does.
I
It
ain't
does.
lying, yo,
It
right?
seems
Oh
But
boy.
they come out
Wow.
of stuff without really being really formally educated in it, right? Being
Right.
kind of like just like, yo, this sound like this is right type
it's.
mentality, right?
Let me tell you.
And then they don't even put no real backup to it, right? So all they do is believe something and research everything to support what they believe. See, when
Right.
I came into this direction, I did the opposite. When I started getting
Right.
stuff for myself, I went to find stuff that contradicted it to see if it held weight.
That's what you got to do.
Right.
You got to see.
Fact.
Right.
You got to see the sources that they use. Like for like a week, I also thought Esau was the white man because of the way they rendered the verse that said
Right.
Right.
his skin was red and yada yada yada. But then
Yeah.
you read where David's skin was also the same Hebrew word, was it Adamah, which is Hebrew for basically Hebrew for red because of
Right.
Adam. Adam came from the red clay, hence his name, meaning red and man. So
Yep.
and then because I thought red meant if King if Adam if Esau was white, then that would mean Adam was white, and then
Yep.
that
And
would mean
David was right.
King David was white,
Yep.
and that don't make sense. That makes
Yeah.
Right.
They
zero
don't
sense.
accept that right there.
That don't make no
Uh,
sense at all. And white people aren't even they're not even red. They're 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 like pink and pale. Like they're not
Yeah,
red.
like pink. Yep.
Like I'm when they think of red skin, they're thinking of white people, and I'm like, there's people whose skin is like literally like
Matter of
a
fact, I'm about
red
to Google it and bring up what red look like. Matter of fact, let me show
e-
them what it look like. I'm gonna
Ethiop.
Google that.
You know Ethiopians. Their skin
Yep.
is like
yeah.
a brownish red color. They're not as dark. Well, they West Africans, they get a little bit darker than the
Right. Right.
Demetrius's color. Me and Demetrius's color, and brother. Well, you may be like, but West Africans are like a little tint, on average, a little shader higher colored than we are, than me and Demetrius. So like
Okay.
that's the color red. That's the color red that they're talking about. Like, and some of them, they can get darker because you stay out in the sun, you get darker, but
Right.
not white people red. That doesn't make any sense. They can't even. It, that don't make no sense. And then they say Esau was he got his name red from the lentils that he ate, the red pottage that he ate. The
Yeah.
no they say no they say his name no, okay, what was it it
Why
was
would that be a big factor though? Because
no
he
no
ate,
no I'm gonna tell
All
you
right. So
blue.
Hold on, let me. Oh yeah, you want to tell him why they use that? Because he doesn't understand. He doesn't communicate with that. That society like
They
that. You know what
say
I mean?
they say that Esau came out red. He came out red skin, which he did. And what was it? They say that's why his name was changed to Edom, meaning red, which is incorrect. The reason why his name was changed to Edom, meaning red, was because the Hebrews, that exactly. That same picture is what I had in my mind of red-skinned people. Those kids, and I think those are Ethiopian children from
Shalom,
either
I'm back. I'm sorry,
They look
fellas.
red.
Shalom.
they look
Right?
red, don't they? They look red,
Yeah.
don't they?
Yeah, they
See,
look red.
it's a reddish brown. If Adam came from the red earth, the red it's a reddish brownish color. That's just how it. If you seen a red heifer, it's the same Hebrew word, ruddy,
All browns are a shade of red. All brown.
but basically.
Facts.
So you got a it says
False.
if you,
False.
what false
No,
what
I was talking about this right here. 12 tribe chart. False.
if you pull
Oh
up a
yeah.
red heifer, right? What they called it a red heifer, a ruddy heifer, it wouldn't be a white person. It would
Nope.
if you take the color of a red heifer and you put it on a person, that they're gonna look like those kids right there. If you take if you take, but what was I saying? The Edom, why his name was changed to Edom. The reason why his name was changed to Edom was because of the red pottage that he traded his birthright for. And you can go
Yep.
read this once again in Josephus. He literally says the Hebrews in jest they changed
For the red stew.
because he traded and they made a joke out of it. They was like,
Yep. And they
since you
named his descendants the red ones.
yeah, exactly. Because of what they did with their birthright. They joked, they trolled them basically for the rest of their life because of that.
Yep. You
And
see all these red people? All these
Josephus
red women?
Josephus the Jew,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
the first century Jew, says that that's why his name was changed to red. So there is no you're not gonna overstep a first century um, Jew. I'm sorry.
Now
No
look what a ruddy horse look like.
ruddy horses, exactly. You put
You
that
feel
skin,
me?
you put that skin color on a person, it's gonna be a brown skinned person, a red brown skinned person. There is no white people. You can't put that on a white person and say that that's a white person. It's
You know,
impossible.
if you see white people under a UV camera, they don't look white. They
Just
don't look white at all.
I never
You
seen
know,
one.
Okay.
when you take away the effect or lack thereof of melanin and you look at it under a UV spectrum, what it does, the UV displays all the melanin, right? And their whole bodies, they just have sporadic spaces where there's melanin, but their eyes and their hair appear the hue of several different types. Meaning, all their melanin or most of their melanin is in their hair and their eyes. Like we can get those colors, we originated those colors, but they keep them because that's their melanin. That's why they can stare directly into the sun and not have to squint because their eyes refract the light.
I,
Ours don't.
I don't know about that, Chief. But
You
because blue or say blue eyed people, right?
no.
Blue eyed.
Listen. I'm not saying. Listen, you got to listen to everything I say. I said we originated all of that, black people. But I said they get it on the regular. Now there are tribes of melanated people all over the world that are naturally every one of them are blonde hair and green eyed, but they're the blackest of the black. Some of them live in the outer outskirts of lower Brazil, right? So I'm not saying that that's just a trait of white people. That's not what I'm saying. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying that if that's what you thought I was, I just wanted to put that out there and clarify what I meant. All I meant was our melanin is majority in our skin. Their melanin is majority in their hair and eyes. This is why we can take the sun and they can't, but they can stare at the sun and we can't. Because be not dismayed at the signs of the heavens, for the heathen are. They supposed to stay up there.
Mm,
Same thing with Asians. Look at Asians. Most of the Asians' melanin is where? Most of them have dark eyes and black hair.
yeah, they do. But Asians are like because
All right.
you know the well, I don't know. I don't know much about
Hey, hold up. Hey, Daryl.
what's up.
Um, man, break that Esau down again, because the person in the chat saying that what is that?
Oh, Genesis
I guess
25 and
they're saying,
25.
yeah, I guess they saying that what you're talking about is wrong, and that Esau is a white person.
Okay,
So
Yeah.
I guess you probably
I'm
gotta
a
go over it again.
I'm gonna
So
pull up. I'm gonna
break
pull
it
up the source
Yeah, pull up
where
the source and share
down.
the screen again.
I'm gonna share the screen and I'm gonna show you where the first century Jew, a real Jew, not like
Okay.
well 100%, like he wasn't born today.
He wasn't a Goldstein.
Exactly.
You know
Exactly.
This
what I
is
mean?
Exactly.
he
Yeah,
wasn't a
pull
gold.
it over, man, because I guess they want to see proof of it. So
I'm gonna
and
show
they
you
use Genesis 25:25 as their source,
and
as
and
Esau
not
being
not only does he sorry
Hey, when he
not only
when he
does
my bad,
not,
my bad.
not
Hey, Darren, when you done, I want to jump in. When you done,
okay, not only does he tell you what Esau got his name from, he tells you why he got his name and et cetera, et cetera. And it had
okay. Let's see that.
yeah, I'm gonna pull it up. I gotta find it.
First off, the person in the chat, right? If you ask a question and you don't understand the vernacular of a word, you already have your mind made up anyway, because all you have is the English understanding of what this means.
I found it. I got it, y'all. So I'm gonna
He
share this.
said Genesis is describing the birth. You
Yeah.
can go back no further than that.
Listen, he
You are describing attributes. That's what he's
no,
trying to say.
I'm showing you.
I know. I already know what you're doing, but
No,
Yeah.
explain
Yeah.
to this man what you're
I'm
doing.
talking to the guy. I'm talking to the guy.
Okay.
But
My bad.
I'm saying you, but I'm talking to the guy. I'm sharing my screen right
Right.
now.
Okay.
I could
All right.
show
So we're
you.
gonna share the screen for you, bro.
I could show you the definition of the word read inside of the scripture as well, and show you that King David was the same skin color. And King David was if
He was
Esau
ready,
was white, if Esau was white, then King
and
David was
David
white
was
as
white.
well. That don't make no sense. I know y'all won't give King David up like that. So
You
um,
never know. You never know.
y'all
Nah,
they
they
gonna
never
Hey,
do that though.
they
They ain't
gonna
gonna do
give
that.
y'all gonna give King
hey,
David up.
David's supposed to come sit on the throne.
You never know,
They
man.
gonna
I'm
give
telling
King
you.
David up like that.
I'm telling you. You never know, man.
They gonna get they gonna give King David up like that. You
He
know,
had locks. I'm telling you. He had soft and bouncing hair. I'm telling
but
you.
y'all can see my screen.
Nah,
Can
we
y'all see
can't
my
see
screen?
it now.
No. Hold on. I gotta bring it up on screen. Hold on. I'm bringing it
Oh,
now. Bringing it up on
oh, so
screen.
you do have to bring.
I
Okay,
got it up there. Bang bang.
yeah, I got you. So here it is. This is Flavius Josephus, first century Jew. His real name was like Joseph ben Matthew or something like that. Son of Joseph, son of Matthew, something like that. Or I don't remember which name it is. But here it is. He says, now when the supper was got ready, he took a goat skin. This he's talking about Jacob, and put it about his arm,
Right.
that by reason of its hairy roughness, that's the same word, that's seer, that's the same word you see
Yep.
in Genesis,
Devil. Same
talk
word. Sair.
talking about he might by his father be believed to be Esau, for they being twins, and in all things else alike, differed only in this thing. And he's saying that
Hair.
they
That's
only
it.
differed in hairiness.
They even
Everything else
sounded alike.
they even saw everything else was the same about them. They were twins, except for the hairiness of Esau. That was it. And this is a first century Jew that said this, who knew what Edomites looked like in the first century. Not only that, he also he goes on to describe what seer means. Now the father loved the elder. This is talking about Isaac loved Esau, who was called Esau, a name agreeable to his roughness, for the Hebrews call such a hairy roughness Esau or Seir. His name is Esir, basically. That's how it's pronounced. That's how his name comes out. But his name got its root from the word Seir, which is a mountainous region in somewhere in north of Saudi Arabia, a little bit north of Saudi Arabia. and it's a mountainous region. It's a rough region.
Yep.
They
He
they
said,
call
okay.
it's called Mount Seir. It's a rough mountainous terrain, which is where Esau, they call it hairy roughness. They call it Seir,
Yep.
Mm.
and that's where Esau got his name from. And
Now,
then not only that, he goes into uh he goes into why Esau's name
no,
was.
Well,
my
Goes
bad. I
into,
just get excited when people just say stuff that and they don't know what they be talking
he
about.
he goes into
I'm sorry.
why Esau's name was changed to Edom. He says, whence it came that on account of the redness of this pottage. This is he talking about the pottage that he traded his birthright for. Esau was
Mm.
in way of jest as a joke. They did this as a joke by his contemporaries called Edom. That's
yep.
Edom basically. For the Hebrews call what is red Edom or Adam. Adam, and
Yep.
that's where Adam's name come from.
Autumn.
Yep, that's a
And
fact.
this
But they don't
what
say he white though. Go
they
ahead.
don't y'all won't say Adam
Oh
was
yeah, that's
white.
another one. Adam White and Noah was
And
albino. Yeah.
we know where
Uh-oh.
Adam came. We know where Adam came from. Adam came from the red
Uh-oh.
earth, the red clay. So Adam,
Absolutely.
Mm.
Adam, I'm gonna show you what red earth look like. If you don't know what it looks like, it's no, I'm gonna do red soil because it's showing pictures.
Yeah.
I mean, if you put that color on a white person, that's not gonna be a white person. That's not what we call a white person. But and this was given to the this was the name given to the country by the Greeks. Gave it a more agreeable pronunciation. They named it Idumea, which is
Yep.
the land of
Idumea. Yep.
the land of the red people, basically.
Yep.
So
So that
look,
Uh-oh.
I need you to address a couple more things. Let me so that you can
was
address it all at one time. That from the person that's watching out there, he said Esau is the father of Edomites. Yeah, we know that.
we know
King David
that.
is an Israelite. We know that. Ruddy means fair. That's what he
No,
said.
no,
He said
no.
you were just describing attributes. I'm gonna give you
Go to
just a
your
slew of things real quick. So prepare for all of this. So they were not the same. Jacob was smooth. So in order to fool his father, his mother had him put the on that garment. They need to rewind the tape, and we had that whole discussion about how that happened and why that happened.
Yeah.
Go back to the birth, right? He wanted you to go back to birth, and how you going to jump when he came out, he was red and called Esau. I don't know what you mean by that, but whatever.
They were both red. It was just
Hairy.
what is
One was hairy.
one was
yeah,
hairy
one was Harry, one wasn't. I
and
mean,
one wasn't.
Yeah.
to make it even simpler, like Rebecca told him, put on this goat skin and put on this garment that smelled like him, but she didn't say disguise your voice.
And
She just said
she
go talk
showed
to your
it.
father.
They were twins. They came
And
out.
Isaac didn't say you sound like Jacob. He said I smell Esau,
Yeah.
but
It's
I hear Jacob.
it's because
Yeah.
it's because they think that because it specifically mentions that Esau was red when he came out, that
Yep.
that Jacob wasn't red as well. But Josephus clears this, and if you the ancient Jews was red, a red brown people. That's what their color was. They were the same color as at least, well, King David came out. If you saying Esau was a white man, King David was a white man. You're not finna get
Didn't the
around that.
Edomites stand around while the Israelites got whooped up and got in trouble for it?
So obviously he is not paying attention either. All right. So look, brother, that's listening,
Okay,
right?
look.
He said that the Bible doesn't describe Jacob, what Jacob looks like, right? So how we gonna do that, right? So that's what he's saying. So
It
we actually just had the antiquities of the Jew from a 20, I'm gonna
a
say a
first
first century Levite historian that left works that thankfully we have today that we can go ahead and read and hear his eye account of what he knew and saw.
mind
So
you.
Luckily, we still have them.
Luckily, we still
luckily
have him.
we
Yeah.
still have it, right?
Mind you,
So
he's
let's get that
seen.
there.
I already done. I pulled that. Mind you, he dealt with Edomites in the first century. He knew exactly who the Edomites
Right.
were.
Right.
He's saying that
Like
they
Job.
what? Keep what happened?
Job is Edomite.
Yeah, Job was an Edomite as well. He's saying that um he literally said his brethren, the Edomites, those are his the twins of the Israelites. He's saying that they didn't differ in nothing but smoothness and hairiness of skin. That was their only difference. Besides that, they were the same people. They not the same people, but they looked alike. That was the only difference between them. There is no if you want me to pull up the etymology of red of the word Edom, and I can pull it up and show you King David was called red. The same word as Esau was called the red when he
And you
came
might
out.
as well go and pull it up, break it off to him. That's it.
So
I'm a,
look, look,
I'm
let me throw out some more of his stuff too, so y'all can continue to address him. So he said, "How you gonna jump when? All right, boom. You can't you can't say they were both red, but he put the word reed because the Bible did not describe Jacob. He smelled Esau because Esau, I can't enunciate words, y'all know that, was a hunter, a rough man out in the field.
you can be dark skinned.
He's talking about, right? Does that first century Jew or whoever wrote this override Genesis 25 and 25? No.
It's
Does the Bible say that? Do the Bible say that?
it's overriding your interpretation of Genesis
Facts.
Genesis 20
Yeah.
25 because he's an actual Jew. You're 2,000
Right.
years in the future. He actually dealt with real Edomites in the first century. They had a whole war with the Romans, and the Edomites fought with the Jews. He knew what an Edomite looked like. So for you to say that he's wrong, and you live 2,000 years later, and you have no idea what culture, what Edomite culture looked like, you can't claim that. That's
Can I
first.
get you to?
Oh,
Facts.
second, and I'm not trying to be insulting. Second, you can go to the word where it says Esau came out red, and it's on the screen right now. Is Adomoni, right? If you click the
I don't
word,
know.
it's gonna show you every single verse where this word is used. Forget the definition because you're gonna get confused by the definition. It says for First Samuel, so this is used in Genesis, and the first came out red. So this is Esau's skin color.
Yeah.
You go to First Samuel,
Mhm.
where they use it. It says ruddy, but it's the same. It's the same Hebrew word Ammoni. This is talking about King David. Now he was red withal, or ruddy withal of a beautiful countenance. So you're
Now
gonna
show
say
him the verse talking about Adam,
what?
so
The
he can
verse.
see there it's ruddy too.
Uh, it doesn't say. It doesn't say red for specifically red, but his name, the
His
word.
name, the very name means
Okay, I got you. Adamoni, I'm gonna just show him this word where he said Esau came out red. Adamoni, the word used for Esau is Adam, it's Adam, and then Moni, which I don't know what Moni means, but it's from the root word.
Oni is the Aramaic way of pluralizing something, like saying Adonai. They put an I at the end of things to plural to make it plural.
Yeah,
It,
yeah. I-
that's the Greek. That's Aramaic, man.
but all right, look, it's from the root word, so I'm gonna do it one more time. It's from the root word Adom. That's what that word is. You see it. I clicked it. Adam dyed red,
Yep,
ruddy.
yep,
This is
yep,
Adam's name, basically. And then
yep.
you go to where this word is used, ram skin dyed red. Let's find something that talks about
Yo, you're
our,
jumping to your own personal interpretation or some 21st century interpretation from somebody that never
look, look, look,
lived there.
look, look, look,
We
look, look,
going
look.
to the first century Drew, boy. Like, stop playing
The
with
root
yourself. Like,
the,
do you hear
look.
yourself, man?
The root word for Adam, right? Look at where it's used in the scripture. You can pull this up right here. Look now, you upon the wine when it is red. What color is wine? Is wine the color of white people, or is wine the color of a red person? Of the color, you know what color red wine is.
Even purple is a shade of red.
If you put the color of wine on a person, would they be a white person, or would they be a melanated person? When it giveth his color in the cup, you can go and find, where is it? Crimson. Though they be red, this is the same Hebrew word, the root word for what Adamoni, which is what Esau is called. This is the same Hebrew. This is the root word of the word red. Red like crimson. What color is crimson? Crimson.
Alabama.
What color is crimson? Is
Alabama.
crimson pale white like European people, or is crimson reddish, a dark red color?
What
Dark
color is
red, like a
Alabama's
burgundy.
uniform? What
Look,
color
look,
is Alabama's uniform?
look. They were more ruddy in body than rubies. What color are rubies?
You already know.
What it says ruddy there. So it's both red. What color? What color? Look. Oh, look. Hold up. Look what it says. Look what it says. Her Nazarites were purer than snow. They were whiter than milk. They were more ruddy. And this is actually a mistranslation. It's not whiter, but they were more ruddy in body. Their bodies were ruddy. Their bodies were red, like the color of rubies. This is talking about Nazarites, by the way. This is the same red that King David was the same skin color of King David, the ruddy red color. The same reason why Adam got his name, because he came from the red soil, which is a reddish brown color. It's not talking about Europeans at
Yo, now
all.
he adding to the word. He be claiming everybody else adding. Now he adding.
I just
They are
showed you.
not white. They appear pinkish because their blood shows through their skin. Right? They're pinkish, bro. They're not red. They're not ruddy. See, you're just admitting to it yourself, and you don't even understand it.
Hello?
Like you just lack understanding, man. Let's call a spade a spade. I'm not trying to be rude, but I am going to be officially straight on with you. Yeah, Tony, we got you. I'm talking right now.
Good. Go ahead.
Do a word study.
So listen, I just want to be honest with you, listener, and I want you to continue listening because hopefully you'll be edified. But I got to be point blank range with you, man. You have been sold something so cleverly, right, from some sales pitch person that wants you to pay for their feast days and have their monthly or weekly ties to them, right, and make you feel all special all the time, which you are. But they're honing in on that to endorph and to release endorphins in your body to make what they're saying a believable, you know what I mean, to you. And they're telling you something that doesn't make any logical sense to you. They're doing all type of trickery to make you think that things that are not true is true, sir. And I need to be point blank with you, right? I'm not trying to insult you, yo. I love you, but I want to be point blank with you, man. I'm not insulting you, but you have been bamboozled, and I promise you that, yo. You definitely been bamboozled. Come study with some real study people, you know what I mean? And you'll be okay.
Elvin,
Didn't the Edomites take wives from a melanated nation?
I'll say one last thing. And then I'll let, because Elvin, I know Elvin want to go, but
yeah. Elvin been waiting.
Let me tell you. They play it off of your emotions. They're playing off the emotions of how black people feel about slavery, and because we was enslaved to white people, somehow Esau is the white man, and Jacob is the enslaved Israel. That's not what it's about, man. First, put away emotion, put away all that emotional baggage that you have from how your ancestors were treated, how our ancestors were treated, and then read the Bible. Because if you read the Bible, with that type of hate against white people, you're gonna think that white people is Esau, which is what they tell you. But
they're 100% not, boy. It's not
they're
logical.
not. Their DNA is not even related to ours. It's not close to African Americans who was claimed to be Israelites. So they can't be Esau. They don't have the same DNA as us, or the same haplogroup. They can't be. That's
nowhere in scripture does it say Esau is going to inherit the earth. Like Esau's cursed right now. He's not in power running the world. Esau's cursed. Is he not?
I don't even know who Esau is today.
I'm just saying, Edom. It says that once Israel is redeemed, that they will possess the remnant of Edom. So Edom is still around, but nobody knows who they are. The remnant. Remnant means those that are left. It's a bunch of white people.
Well, I want to.
The remnant, Ben. That's a whole different story. That's another subject matter.
Yeah, it's another subject. But
I want to clear.
Let Elvin go.
I just want to clear two things using just a little logic information as well as some ancient information. Okay, the first thing first, y'all. I'm driving, so can I get somebody to pull up a picture of a ruddy cow?
I got you.
Oh yeah, we had that up a little while ago. Well,
I got
we
it.
had the horse.
I'm sharing, right? I'm still sharing. Yeah.
Yeah, you got it. I got you.
Ruddy cow. See?
All right, so first of all, so we see that that's a ruddy cow. Now, I'll let you guys figure out what skin color that is close to. All right, so that's the first thing. So we got the visual picture of a ruddy cow. So when they said get that red cow, they was talking about something to look like that. Okay, so that's the first thing. So
Red
this is the
heifer,
second
there you
thing. This is the second thing that I would like pulled up. There you go, right there. So
That's the same skin color.
Yeah. So now, if you could someone pull up Genesis 2 out of the Targums?
Oh, out of the Targums?
Yeah, Targums. So what is this? This is a first century commentary of Torah from those Aramaic speaking Jews.
Where's it at? What are you looking for?
Got it.
I got it.
Okay, go down to where it was describing how Adam was created. So this is how the first century Jews that spoke Aramaic looked at the Torah. The creation of Adam.
What is this it? And the Lord God created man in two formations and took dust from the place of the house of the sanctuary and from the four winds of the world and mixed from all the waters of the world and created him red, black, and white and breathed into his nostrils the inspiration of life. And there was in the body of Adam the inspiration of a speaking spirit unto the illumination of the eyes and the hearing of the ears.
Right. So what happened right there? The first century Jews was trying to explain why mankind is different skin complexions.
Yeah, red.
They said in Adam there was red, black, and white. So according to first century Jews, there was only three dominant colors that explain all the nations in the world.
And it still is like that.
100%. So how can Esau, who was red, be the white man when they knew the difference of colors right there?
Matter of fact,
telling you there's a white.
Matter of fact, Japheth's kid. Japheth is the white. The white.
Yes, Japheth is the right.
Is Ashkenaz not a descendant of Japheth?
Japheth, yes, he is.
Gomer?
Yes. See what he so this is what he did right here. He said Adam had the red, white, and black in it. The red family represents Shem. The black family represents Ham, and the white represents Japheth. The book of Enoch did the exact same thing. The same thing. The book of Enoch did the same thing about the story, the apocalypse of the animals. The apocalypse of the animals. When Noah, the white bull, had a child or had some bulls, the colors was black, red and white. So they're doing the same thing. So how can Esau, who's a descendant of the red, aka Shem, how could he be the white, who's a descendant of Japheth? That's one thing. Second of all, when you have Rome, right? Because they want the white man to be the Romans. That's what they try to.
That's what they say. Yeah.
So how can Chittim, who's also the Romans, who's the son of Javan the Greek? So how can Chittim, who's a Roman, also be Esau, who's a Shemite?
Exactly. You know what they do? They use the it says it right here. Cyprus Kittim. This is Japheth's one of Japheth's kids. These are the Greeks right here. Kittamites, the ships of wait, no, that's
Yeah,
ships of
the ships
Kittim.
of Chittims. Yeah, that's Rome.
This
That's the
these
Romans.
So he
these are,
said, hold on, let me put on the screen what he's saying though. Hold on,
that's
let
the
me pull up
that's
some
the
of the things.
Romans. My bad.
So he said,
They call them
That
Cyprus
is
too.
that
And
in the
some
look, is that in the Bible anywhere? Look, you see the screen? And then he said, show me a scripture in any Bible saying what you just quoted. And then he said, show us this in the Bible again. And then
okay, bet.
prior to that,
I
hold on,
got you.
wait. Prior to that, he said this too. Hold up, bomb. Genesis 27:39, and Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth and of the dew of the heaven from above. Genesis 27:40, and by the thy sword shalt thou live and shalt serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. I don't know what that was supposed to prove.
look.
Hold
Let me.
on, let me. Can who that? Because I want to explain something real fast.
This
And then I'm
Daryl.
done.
But go,
Let me
Alvin.
let me explain something real fast. Okay, the brother said, show him in the Bible. This is where we're gonna mix up at. The Bible, the Torah that he's reading. We know all of these things was translated. We already know that. So the Torah that he's reading was translated in the 10th century by converts.
Right.
But we're reading sources that predates the translation of the Torah that he got.
Targums,
So
antiquities, all that predates.
Right, all of that predates the
Targums
Torah. It all predates the Torah you're reading from. So the older the information, the more accurate it's going to be. So you can't compare when we pull an older source from 2,000 years ago and you pull a source from 1,000 years ago, and you can't ask us to show you in the 1,000-year ago source where it didn't quote the 2,000-year source. Yeah, it didn't. You're right, because they got it wrong. You're right.
Matter of fact,
made it up.
The whole place where they get Edom is the white man is from the book of Jashar, which the book of Jashar is not as old as
the book of Jashar doesn't even call Esau the white man.
It does. It's because it pulls some Zepho went and invaded Greece or something, or Rome,
right.
or something. And that's what they say, but they don't even the book of Jashar. That's the best y'all got.
Listen. How
hold on. Can somebody do me a favor? Okay.
What's up?
I'm gonna say pull up Micah. Somebody can pull up. Put Mike. What is it? What is it? Malachi. Chapter 1.
What is it
somebody
about?
Pull up Malachi chapter.
What is it about?
Esau being destroyed already.
Anyway, so it doesn't matter. I want to just kill all of it.
Now, listen. When it says destroyed, you have to remember vernacular, because Israel's destroyed right now too. Yet we're still talking.
Well, this one's finna actually kill it. Yeah,
I got it.
Yeah, this is gonna kill it. What is it? Just read from 1. Just read from 1 down to 4, I believe.
The burden of the word of the Lord to Israel by Malachi. I have loved you.
So hold on. Let's slow down. It was spoken to Israel. So this is saying it to Israel. Now y'all think all this Edom is in power and you're waiting for them to be destroyed and be delivered right by the Most High. You're waiting on this right now today, right? So this is the Lord talking to Israel. This is 6th century BC too. 6th century BC too. That's the timestamp on when this was written. Go ahead.
The burden of the word of the Lord to Israel by Malachi. I have loved you, saith the Lord. Yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother, saith the Lord.
All right, hold up. Because you're going too fast for me down. My bad. So let me slow it down for you. So right there, when it said, I have loved you, saith the Lord, yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? So you're questioning him, right? It's saying Israel is questioning his love for him, right? And then he responds, was not Esau Jacob's brother? Question, rhetorical, right? saith the Lord, yet I loved Jacob. So look, you had your brother who was Esau, but I loved y'all, right? And Esau was doing a thing, right? So he's referencing how they was just doing a thing and their rulership, right? So then verse 3, and I hated Esau though, right? Most High said, I hated Esau. The Lord rather said, I hated Esau and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons and the wilderness. So it's showing right now they've been destroyed already. And don't tell me how they're going to do it again, because now you need to pull that scripture. But they destroyed the heritage of Esau in 600 BC. What are you sitting here waiting for, bro? I just showed it to you in the scripture. We don't even talk about Esau no more. It don't matter what color he is. He out of the picture. He out of the picture. I don't care what color he is. He out of the picture.
Man. He gone. He been gone.
Matter of fact,
he out of the picture, man. Stop playing with me, man. I gave you timestamp and everything. Yo, research it, yo.
Matter of fact, when the Romans came in and destroyed, attacked Jerusalem, and a little bit before that was going on, when a zealot Jew by the name of I believe his name was Simon, here it is right here, he marched into Idumea without he went in there without bloodshed at first. He walked in there all peaceful, but eventually it says besides this want of provisions that he was in, he wanted materials, He was of a barbarous disposition and bore a great anger at this nation, the Idumeans. He went into he hated the Idumeans, and it says, by which means it came to pass that Idumea was greatly depopulated. He went in there and he killed a bunch of the Idumeans in the first century, a very great amount. And as many see all the woods behind despoiled of their leaves by locusts after they have been there, so was there nothing left behind Simon's army but a desert. Some places they burnt down, some they utterly demolished, and whatsoever grew in the country they either trod it down or fed upon it, and by their marches they made the ground that was cultivated harder and more untractable than that which was barren. In short, there was no sign remaining of those places that had been laid waste that ever had a being. Existence. So basically, what this Jew Simon, what he went and did, he walked into Idumea and burnt it to the ground, just like how the Romans went into Jerusalem and uninhabitable. He made Idumea uninhabitable. So many. Josephus the Jew says greatly depopulated. He killed a very great amount of Idumeans. So I don't know what this guy is trying to say about they ruling the world.
Hold on. Listen to this. He said, read the next verse. Go back and read the next verse in Malachi 4. Actually, he posted it, but we could just read it. Read it. Go ahead. You can read it, Darryl.
Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord of hosts. They shall build, but I will throw. Thus saith the Lord of hosts. They shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever.
All right, so stop. No. He said read the next verse. So right here in this next verse, he's saying proven, I guess, in his mind, because he's not able to comprehend what it's saying, right? So he's saying that just forfeited everything that I just read. So somebody else, so it don't be no weirdo thing for me, like it's all me that did this. Tell me, how does that contradict verses 1 through 3?
I don't know what he's talking about, but I want to read something to you, man.
How does he know Esau is the white man?
Subject?
Put his proof. I want him
Esau is not the white man. I don't know what he's talking about.
I want him to put proof. List your sources, because I know exactly what sources the Hebrew Israelites.
He should go and read Ezekiel 38. He should read that chapter and listen to what Yah says those people are doing to Israel, and he's going to redeem Israel in a finality in the latter days. And you tell me who doing that? Is it Edom?
Put his
Well,
verses. Tell him to put his verses in the chat, and we're gonna read.
hold on. Let me show you what he said. This is what he said right here. Let me put it on the screen. If they were destroyed, finished in verse 3, how are they going to build in verse 4? He's saying.
Listen. They are
He's
not
not
destroyed.
understanding.
They are not destroyed. I agree with him
They
on
are.
that. And I'm going to read something to
100%
you.
they are.
Listen, I want to read something to you, right? I want to read something to you, brother. And once I read this to you, this is from Amos chapter 9. When I read it to you, I just want you to tell me what you think of it.
But
right? So it says here, and I'm gonna start reading at verse 11. Read the entire chapter, I suggest, but it's only 15 verses. I'm gonna read from 11 down to a certain point. It says in verse 11, "In that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen, and close up the breaches thereof, and I will raise up his ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old, that they may possess the remnant of Edom, and all of the heathen, which are called by my name, saith Yah that does this. Behold, the days come, saith Yah, that the plowman shall overtake the reaper, and the treaders of grapes, him that soweth seed, and the mountains shall drop sweet wine, and the hills shall melt." This is talking about an overthrow, right? But it can't be an overthrow of it can't be an overthrow of Edom. Like continuing here, it says, "And I will bring again the captivity of my people to Israel, and they shall build the waste cities and inhabit them, and they shall plant vineyards and drink wine thereof. They shall also make gardens and eat the fruit. And I will plant them upon their land, and they shall no more be pulled out of their land, which I gave unto them, saith Yah of hosts." Right? So we're not in Israel right now. We're in America. Fact. Right?
They ain't got nothing to do with it.
This is what I want him
second off. No, I'm just talking about the Edom. I'm just talking about. Yeah, I don't know that Esau's a white man that died years. I don't know why people still on that. I'm just talking about the fact that we're going to possess once it's finalized and we are reestablished as the servant of Yah, and he is reestablished as our sole proprietor, our sole power.
That happened in the first century.
Then we should have possession of the remnant of Edom.
That's where the full preterism aspect comes into it, but we're not getting to that yet.
Yeah, we're not gonna get into that right now.
We're not getting into that.
Can I give a little explanation from my personal understanding?
Elvin, can I say something real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
It was finished in 1-3.
I'm gonna say something real quick. I want the guy.
This is a different timestamp, bro.
I want the guy who's saying, I want you to put all your sources inside of it. Every one of your sources for Esau being white inside of the, and I want you to pull like because you can't say that because Esau came out red that automatically means white. I want you to show me where red is used to denote a white a European skin color. I want you to show me how the same where that Hebrew word for Adam is means the Hebrew word that's used Adamoni is used to describe something else that's a white color. That's that you're saying is the same color as Europeans. That's what I want you to do, because you're not going to be able to do that. I want you to pull up every source that you can pull up that proves that Esau is the white man, and I guarantee you it's either going to be a misunderstanding of what that verse is saying, and if it's a historical source or anything like that, it's not gonna be it's gonna be
Esau
a made up
is not
source.
Edom. Esau is not Greek. Esau is not Roman. However you want to put it, you playing semantics saying white. You know what we mean by white. He's not any of those things that's considered white. He's not of European descent. He's not Japheth's child.
Romans were of European descent. They were not, and I repeat, not Semitic. When the Jews were fighting the Romans in the first century, Idumeans, them as a separate nation of people, were fighting against the Romans and against the Romans as a separate nation of people. They was fighting against the Romans, so they're not the same people. It was Romans, Idumeans, and Jews fighting amongst each other in the first century. They're not the same people. If Romans and Idumeans were the same people, they wouldn't have been fighting against each other in freaking the first century in the Roman Judean War. It makes no sense. Read a history book. Go, Elvin.
Oh yeah, because I was about to jump in on the other stuff, but go ahead, Evan. Go ahead.
He wanted to go. I just
Elvin, go
wanted to
ahead.
say something.
Yeah. My bad. I had my mic muted. Okay. I just want to touch on the Malachi one and dealing with Esau. Okay.
And
This just
Amos too. I want to hit that.
yeah, Amos. And what's going on here? We got to understand that the Bible and the prophets, they used, and I got to keep driving this point in. They used natural occurrences to explain spiritual realities. So now, the natural occurrence was that it was prophesied that Edom was going to get destroyed and was destroyed. So then the prophet comes through speaking in a riddle language, taking it over to the spiritual aspect. How do we know it's the spiritual aspect? Because in Malachi 2, 3, and 4, he's talking about the final great day of the Lord. Now, none of the prophets was worried about Edom or Esau dealing with the final great day of the Lord. They was worried about all nations coming to battle. Not no Edom and Esau. That was not what they worried about. So now, what's going on here? What did Edom do? Edom sold his birthright. Edom didn't allow his brother to come into his land when they was fleeing out of Egypt. So Edom wasn't showing brotherly love, being wicked. So now you have the sense that this wickedness of not showing brotherly love was going to try to reign over the land. Hence why they said, and throughout all of the prophecies about the end time, brother will fight against brother. Because they're using imagery of what happened between Jacob and Esau. So it's not nobody taking it literal. How do we know it's not to be taken literal? Because in one moment, we have Edom totally being annihilated. And then in the next moment, we have an Amos saying that Edom wasn't totally annihilated, but they're going to come under the captivity of Israel. You can't have it both ways. Either they're totally annihilated or they're not. To show you, these words aren't meant to be taken literal. People are taking them literal, and they're messing up what the Most High is trying to show Israel. The Most High was showing the nation of Israel that these type of activities is going to bring on his judgment. Edom's activity brought on that judgment. So now somebody's going to take the role of Edom, Esau, spiritually, and you guys do this all the time because you guys say the Romans are Esau. So you're giving Romans the spiritual attributes of Esau. You just don't know that's what you're doing, but you're doing it. So he's looking at, Malachi is looking at the spiritual aspect of that type of person that have those characteristics being destroyed. And Malachi actually let it be known this was the Levites. Malachi let it be known the Levites was the one doing the stealing and not showing the brotherly love. Malachi was actually prophesied against Israel and the Edomites. Israel as the Edomites in the sense on characteristics. So when Amos came in, I'm definitely not adding.
Yeah, he's saying you added.
I'm definitely not adding. I can literally prove.
Can I add something?
Can I add something? Can I go with Amos real fast?
Okay.
Can I go with Amos real fast?
Yeah.
So
Correct.
when Amos is going in, Amos is saying, hey, now at this moment in time, Israel is going to be in a position where others look up to them, aka taking them into captivity, not a literal captivity, because the Lord can't preach and teach love and then tell you you're gonna conquer somebody. He's not gonna. That's not the Lord's attributes. That's what men do to the Lord's words because they take everything literal. So by the time
can I add
Amos,
something on that right there,
go
Elder?
ahead.
Can I add something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so y'all do the math. 1751. 1751. Benjamin Franklin wrote a book, no, a pamphlet, whatever. He wrote some literature in 1751. Do the math from today back then to that time. And in this pamphlet, he named just 2 nations as white. Here in America, he named just 2 nations. He named Asia, Europe, the Far East, and all over the world, the Americans, everything as tawny, black, swarthy, the whole 9. In 1751, he named just 2 nations as white, Saxons and Brits. This is 1751. It's called America, the land of opportunity. Okay? All this white and black and all this dumb shit that people talk about. This man said that at that time in 1751, he seen just 2 nations, Saxons and Brits, as white.
Another thing
But
that I
look,
could add to that is that a lot of people don't, like I said, vernacular, learn your words. English is derived from a bunch of different languages. The word white is not a race. Look it up. It is even covered under the Constitution. White is a social status. It is a social status. Black is not a color. It is a social status. Those
and that's
who
exactly
are
what he was
under
writing in this pamphlet. This is exactly what he was. What you saying, bro? This is what he was writing in this pamphlet.
and that's in
status.
effect right now. What I'm talking about is in effect right now. It's still in effect. You know what I mean?
But
It's
look,
still in effect.
hold on, let me, that brings me back into the picture now. Hold on, give me a second. So this is what I need a couple of y'all to understand, right? A few people, watching it on here with us, right? I'm not gonna go all the way into it, you know what I mean? But I'm gonna go ahead and give y'all a study guide for yourself, kind of fast, right? So Amos, right? The book of Amos, right? So just Amos 9 and 12, right? Basically, just think of Amos 9 and 12 as because they use the book of Obadiah to really like broadcast this Esau thingy, right? All right, so
you got to look at the word that's
you gotta
being
do that.
used
I'm gonna take all that up, right? So look, Amos 9 and 12 is basically the commentary of Obadiah, right? Of the book of Obadiah, basically. It's basically I'm trying to tell you. So look, I want you to do Obadiah 1 and 6. If you believe any of this stuff about Esau wasn't destroyed, I need you to break down Obadiah, right? In this format, right? So Obadiah 1 and 6, you're gonna read Jeremiah 49 and 9. Also, you can read Jeremiah 14 and 7, right? And then if you want to, and then Obadiah 10 through 18, you need to read Joel 1 and 15, 2 and 1, 2 and 32, chapter 3 through 4, chapter 3 17, chapter 3 19, all that, right? Then Obadiah, right? Obadiah 9, 10, 14, 18, 19. You want to read Amos 1 and 1, verse 2, verse 6, 11 through 12, and chapter 9 and 13, right? This is going to put your minds in the right headspace, right? If you really, really want to study this stuff, all right? That's why I'm just giving it out to you, kind of all the way out there, right? You want to go ahead and check out Chronicles, chapter 21, specifically like around 8 through 10. But I say read the whole thing, you know what I mean? Always read the whole thing. But I'm just saying, 8 through 10. You want to go 2 Kings as well. You want to read chapter 8, 20 through 22. That might help you, right? all that stuff. If you really want to know some more about this, you can go ahead and hit Psalms 137, verse, I think it's verse 7, Jeremiah 40, 11 through 12. Yeah, you really need to do that. That's when Judah was ruling over Edom. That same thing y'all keep talking about, that's got to happen. That one right there going to kill that one. If you're still waiting on that, you read Jeremiah 40, 11 through 12. Know what I mean? And then let me give you some historical points to look for in real live history after I hit you with all this biblical, right? So we want to go to 600 BC, right? Around 586-ish, 7-ish, right? You want to go ahead and see how the Babylonians, you know what I mean? I think it was under Nebuchadnezzar, but regardless, the Babylonians surrounded Edom, right? Ran down on them, pushed them out of Edom. Their forces laid them to waste, like they said. They got scared, they booked, and ran down into the bottom of Judah. You feel me? Like, do your own research, man. It's there in real history, and I just showed you the biblical points, man. Don't play, man. I am here.
All right, guys, but and everything the brother said is 100% on point. But I just got to give it to you from my personal opinion. This is my point of view. This is Elvin Israel. I feel that if you guys go into that history, this is for the audience, you guys are going to hurt yourself even more, because the point of the history is not the history. That's not the point of it. Christ clearly taught the point of the law and the prophets was love the Father and love your neighbor.
I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. That's why I said it's a fact.
Oh, yeah. That's what it is, man.
So what Christ didn't want them to go through the history and find out the details, because as Paul told them, to be carnally minded is death. You find the information out, right?
But to be
and then you say,
minded is life.
You say, right. You say, well, Paul said is true. Okay. I found out everything Paul said is true. 100%. He's accurate. So now I'm mad at these black Hebrew Israelites for telling me all this garbage. So now I'm finna leave and I'm finna go to Kemet. Or I don't believe nothing anymore. It's because after you learn all of that information, it still haven't changed your heart.
Yeah,
you still have a veil over your heart. And that's what I was saying. That's it. And that's what I was saying in Malachi. The point of Malachi was about the brotherly love. It wasn't about how many times Esau was going to get destroyed. The point of Amos was about the brotherly love. It wasn't about nobody getting slaves.
That's what the whole law and prophets was about. Brotherly love. Love. Damn.
That's it. So that's right, Brother Tony. So when we are looking at any story in the Torah or the Tanakh, if we haven't reached the ideal of this is about loving the Father, this is about brotherly love, then we have lost what the Holy Spirit wanted us to know.
Which is the kingdom.
Yeah, that's a fact.
That's it. That's
a fact.
So all of that, Esau is the white man and he's going to die and we're going to get slaves and all that stuff. How does that teach brotherly love? I just want to know if
it does not.
For my Messianic. If you ain't a Messianic, I understand. But for my Messianics out there, how can whatever you want Esau to be teach brotherly love? Christ said, Brother Tony, didn't Christ say the law and the prophets was on love the Father and love your neighbor?
Yeah, I'm about to bring up on this.
Up until John was the law, and after that, it was the two tenets of love the Father and love your neighbor. That's what the whole damn Bible's about.
Look! I'm gonna end this man's. I'm gonna end this man's whole career. So, what it is somewhere in the laws of Moses. It says, "Hate not Esau, for he is your brother."
Yep. 100%. I was gonna pull that out in my lesson when I did this. When I did this right here.
That's in the law of Moses.
And you know,
So
and
if
you know why?
Esau's
You
the
know
white
why?
man,
You
if
know
you
why this
believe
there?
Esau's the white man, if you believe Esau is the white man and you hate Esau.
See, look at that right there.
But you know
Esau
why
was
this there?
hated because of election and nothing to do with
No.
brotherly love.
If Christ said the law and the prophets, now is that the law part? Ain't
It
Torah
said
the
brother, not
law?
neighbor, though, bro.
Well, hold on. Wasn't Torah the law?
Torah was the
In
law.
Yes.
fact, Christ called everything the law. So was not the story of Esau and Jacob in Torah?
Yes.
100%.
So how can Christ say the point behind Torah was love your brother, and you say hate Esau? How?
Hate
Like,
Yeah. So look
Don't
now.
make
Everybody,
no
look at the
damn
last three
sense.
things. Hold up. Now look at the last
Stupid.
three things I put up from the person in for the people in the chat. He said Esau was hated because of election, had nothing to do with brotherly love. He's also missing the point again, still proven point. Also, he said, "Who is your neighbor?" But we was talking about brother. But who
He's
is
talking
your
about
neighbor
brother.
then?
Yeah.
Right? Exactly. And I mean, but he wants to know who's your neighbor. And then he said Deuteronomy 23:7, I guess, must prove some type of point.
Now this is, and I'm gonna tell you what happened right here. Now, for my non-Messianics, I know this ain't for you, but for my Messianic people, notice how the brother is trying to use Torah to go against what Christ taught.
No,
Trying to use he's picking in Torah. Go ahead.
Deuteronomy 23 is thou shalt not abhor an Edomite, for he is thy brother. Thou shalt not abhor an Egyptian, because thou wast a stranger in this land. That's what he brought up. So you just proved my point. If you can't say Esau is the white man, because when y'all say that out of hate because of slavery. So you can't say Esau is the white man and hate white people when you just pulled up the verse that says you shall not hate Esau. So if you think Esau is the white man, then you can't hate Esau.
Well, according to Christ, though,
white
you
person
can't hate
go.
Esau. You can't hate the Amorites. You can't hate the Perizzites. You can't
And the
hate the
Editites and the
Amalekites.
Midianites and the Didites and the
Right?
Gittite and all the Lidites.
You can't hate none of that.
The chicken ice,
no
yeah,
ice.
hate none of them.
No ice.
Christ is literally
New
looking at
covenant
people.
is for all man, no matter what the hell. Listen, we all mutts. We all fucking mutts. Excuse my French, but I'm gonna speak, and y'all know how I speak. The brothers on this call know how I speak. Fuck the skin color shit. You understand? If you take a hold of the covenant, it goes back to the fucking Torah, all the way to the New Testament. If you take hold of the covenant, you are part of spiritual Israel. Period.
That's it.
I'm gonna have to remove.
That's what.
Now, see that right there. I agree with you on spiritual Israel. You can't be grafted in, because he even told Abraham, not only you need to be circumcised, but all the strangers and the people you bought with money,
All the
any
freaking
manservants,
strangers.
anybody
They came out of
within
Egypt
your.
as strangers mixed up.
Yeah.
Period.
Abraham.
No. Listen.
Breathe, Tony. Breathe.
This is prior to Egypt, when he was telling Abraham this. This is prior to Egypt.
Yeah,
When he was saying in Genesis 17, walk before me and be thou complete, right? But this is the catch. You got to get circumcised, but not just you, all your children. Not just all your children, all your manservants. Not just all your manservants, anybody you bought with money, your slaves, all of them. They better be circumcised. Every one of them.
They had slaves that were not Israelites.
Yeah.
You got to understand.
That's why they said strangers, people you bought with money. You
Yes,
didn't buy
we
your brethren.
understand that totally.
Yeah.
You got to
They came out
understand
of
that.
mixed
I'm talking
multitude.
for the audience.
I'm talking for the audience too. I'm telling him, dude, they had slaves that were not Israelites.
He pulled some stuff on y'all. First, he laughed at y'all. Let me show his laugh, because I don't want nobody to think I'm hating. Bong, let me show the laugh. There is half. And then after he laughed at y'all, he said Romans 9:11.
I'm gonna let y'all have that one.
Born, neither having done any good or evil, that the purpose of God according to election might stand, not of works, but of him that calleth.
You do realize
So that's supposed to prove some type of point,
Elvin,
but it
I know
doesn't.
you.
But it's supposed to.
I know you got some source where East Edomites actually converted. They became Jews. A lot of them
Yeah,
converted.
yeah. I got it on my
That's a
channel. I
fact.
got it on my channel.
I
But
know.
I got it on my channel. But here's even one more. Here's even one more.
Hold up. He got one more
The
question. Hold on.
law
Let me put
and
that
the
one
prophet.
question out there.
My bad.
Wow. And then he threw in why Esau was hated. Wow.
Oh, but I got it right here.
Hold on. Knock it out. I'll be right back. I'm going to get me a
The
water. I'm getting
law
thirsty.
and the prophets hung on these two commandments: love the Father
Love the
above
Father and
all,
love your neighbor. That's it.
and love your
Period.
neighbor.
Period.
That's it. So
You ain't gonna try
every
to.
story.
You ain't gonna try to fuck your damn neighbor's wife. You ain't gonna try to get his child. You ain't gonna try to defraud him. None of this. Not even your family, neighbor. None of that. This is a
So
lawless people coming out of Egypt who needed a law to teach them how to live according to Yah. And Christ came and simplified it and said, on these two tenets, hang the law and the prophets. Period. The fuck, man?
Go
so
on,
now,
Elvin.
no. So this will be my question: did the Most High, everything He created, was it or was it not perfect?
Perfect.
So that means Esau was perfect.
Hello.
We're not talking about his actions, but we're talking about him as a person.
Tell it.
So the Most High didn't create nothing imperfect. So now, if the Most High did not create anything imperfect, why is He hating something? Well, now, is He hating Esau, or did Esau do something that is teaching the audience that's reading the story that they shouldn't have the same characteristics? Well, let's see what the first thing he did. He
know what they
sold
did?
something. Huh?
You know what they did as a nation to us?
No. He's saying, what did Esau do to make him hated?
No, I'm saying this right here further implicated what they did to us. You listen to what y'all says to them, like, boy, them your brethren, and you do that violence against them.
He did that after what he first.
Yeah. I'm just saying. I was just specifying. I was adding to. That's all.
Okay.
Right, and when he said what you did to your brother, once again, he went against the tenet of brotherly love.
Wow.
He tried to kill his brother.
That right there tells you also that Esau and his people served Yah.
He saw his birthright as something that was worth a pot of lentils, which is disrespectful to the father, because you just trade your birthright for some little pottage. And before he was born, God, knowing all things that this child would do, which is his character was a bad character. That's what he
Bingo.
it reflected. You read this, I think the Bible mentions this, and Josephus mentions this, that he saw his birthright as such a low
Burden.
thing as to trade it for. He should have died for it. So, Jacob would have gave him the pottage anyway, but Jacob saw a little advantage to take of him, and he took advantage. But Esau should not have traded his birthright for it, and that's why Jacob got blessed and Esau did.
So when you read the story, when you read the story, you're supposed to determine what characteristics from it you want to do or you don't want to do.
The tree of life.
Moses,
tree of life
thank you.
And the tree of good and evil.
The tree of knowledge of good and evil.
Man,
Moses did not put that story in Torah. Moses did not add that story in the Torah to tell you to hate anybody. Moses wasn't trying to get you to hate any nation at any point in time. Moses was trying to teach people who have came out of a paganistic culture how not to angry their God. So he had to use stories, legends,
Animals.
traditions, animals, family, family heirlooms, and family tradition. He had to go through all of that to explain to people, I don't want you guys making the Father mad. So in fact, you can see it how when Moses was trying to get them to kill the adulterers, he was getting them to kill the people who commit adultery. Why? Because no, he was trying to get them
Oh, you breaking up,
fear
Aaron.
of death.
Oh, you're back. You're back.
My bad.
You're back.
My
You're
bad.
back.
With the fear of death. So in the New Testament, they didn't understand that Moses was using this as a means to make them be righteous. So Christ hit them with, okay, if you want to stone the woman, who do not have sin, you cast the first stone. Because the fear of death was supposed to make them love their neighbor. They was committing adultery, which meant you hated your neighbor. So the fear of death make you not hate your neighbor. It's supposed to make you love your neighbor, but they used it as a means of judgment. So Christ is like, yes, that's it, self-righteousness. So what Christ said was, whoever that don't have sin, you can kill them.
Cast the first stone.
And
Throw the damn rock. Break the damn glass house.
And the person who didn't have sin, which was Jesus, did not kill her either. So no one else was worthy to kill her except him, and he didn't do it himself, which was the point of
that's the point of
the whole Bible.
There you go. That's it.
So hold
up. Deuteronomy, Moses in Deuteronomy 23 said, "Hate not Esau, for he is your brother." There's nothing else. There's nothing else to be said. That's Moses.
That's Moses. Here go all his rebuttals, though. Hold up. You know I'm a fair person. Everybody knows I'm a fair. That's why I'm the best debate moderator in the world. So look, he said,
what we gonna do?
Right. First he said, who is thy neighbor?
Edom.
Your fellow Israelite. Right? And I guess this is proof of it here.
Sense.
Facts.
And then look at this. This is his proof.
That makes no sense.
Leviticus 19:17, thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. Is talking about probably Esau anyway. But anyway, thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon him. Leviticus 19:18, thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people. But thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
You don't know no better.
Listen.
And he's trying to say that is.
Can I say something? Can I say something?
That's another Israelite.
Can I say something? Exactly. Listen, this is the point that brother is making. The law, as it pertains, right? The law, as it pertains, right? When it was given to us, we were headed where? To Israel, right?
Right, to the land of Canaan. Right.
Now, yeah, land of Canaan. You know what I mean? Which Israel is inside, right? So when we get to the land of Canaan, now we're practicing the law, right?
Mm-hmm.
Were we chilling in Bangladesh? Nope. Were the people from Bangladesh chilling with us? Nope. The only people that were around us was us. So when it said, don't lie to you, don't listen. The strangers that were amongst us, the people
there you go.
Our dwelling places, were if we owned them or if they worked for us, then they had to follow our creed or they couldn't even be around.
Yeah.
Period.
That's what, they didn't allow those if you lived amongst the Jews and in Jerusalem, if you didn't follow you was kicked out. Like there was no you staying there with them. Only if you followed their laws did they allow you into their society.
Facts. So this is what I'm saying. So, the commandments that are given, don't kill, that is from Israelite to Israelite or the people in your dwelling area, right? If there were strangers amongst us, they either worked for us or we owned them. They weren't just, hey, I'm chilling, my name's John, I'm gonna pull up and get a motel room. No, we ain't do that. We were always amongst ourselves. Our feast of weeks, us. Even the manservants and the people that we own with money couldn't come in there. You dig what I'm saying? Like you can worship y'all. You can be like, that's what's up. But when it comes time to that's what's up, you got to hold on, wait back here real quick while we go do this because you're not invited, right? But even though you're clearly not us, the law pertains to us toward you because you're in this land. But if outside of this land, that law, that's why anytime we're cast out of Israel, he'd be like, what law? How you gonna keep it? How you gonna keep it?
So this is the question. This is the question, because what the brother is trying to use, he's trying to use Leviticus. And you being a Torah and Tanakh only person.
That's facts, though. That's facts.
Right. Okay, so this is what I'm trying to hit you up then. Okay, then. So when it was saying brother and neighbor right there, right, in Leviticus that he pulled, could they show any misactions against the Egyptians that was there with them?
If the Egyptians were within the confines of Israel living there, they were as strangers. Hell, even Hagar was an Egyptian. She lived with Abraham. That was a common thing for Egyptians to be amongst us and for us to be.
That's not what I'm asking.
That's not what I'm asking.
That's not what I'm asking, though. That's not what I'm asking.
Okay, so what are you asking?
Okay, let me say it another way.
If we killed an Egyptian, would we be punished under the law?
This was about showing brotherly love. Did they have to show brotherly love to an Egyptian that was there with them? Coming out of Egypt.
Yeah. They're in your dwelling. You're gonna treat them the same. Ain't none of that crazy stuff up in here.
It was law.
Okay.
It was law to.
It was law.
Hold on.
You can't change the law. The law don't change up for situation.
So
it ain't like thou shalt not steal unless your kid's hungry. You know what I mean?
So a brother and the neighbor don't only have to be Israelites. That's what I'm getting.
Listen. I didn't say just Israel. I said Israel and the manservant, maidservant, or whoever you bought.
Elvin's talking to the guy.
Oh, my bad.
You didn't say it, but what?
Yeah, I gotta put some more stuff up from the guy, yo. Let me see this.
My bad. Go ahead.
All right, so let's start here. Big paragraph. John Mack, whoever that is, you're right, bro. Jacob has hair of sheep. Yeah, me neither. Jacob has hair of sheep. Esau has hair of goat. That's another reason why she had to dress Jacob in goat's hair. Yeah, we know that. Because Isaac had it in his head to give his oldest. This is kind of late. However, Rebecca already been told by Yah that Esau is to serve Jacob and Jacob is to inherit the blessing. So in reality, Isaac was not tricked.
He's probably
boss.
He's probably replying to someone in the comment section. That's why he said John.
Right. Okay.
Hold on, boss. Did Rebecca? Hold on, though. Did Rebecca? Did she have to touch? Was she touching his head like good boy, or was she touching his arm?
He's touching his arm. Pull it back up.
Hold on. So if she touching his arm, why are we even talking about the hair on his head? If she didn't even touch the hair on his head, she touched his arm. Now, are they trying to say that when hold on, I got one more question. So are they trying to say when black people, when we get hairy around our body, we look like sheep?
Yeah, that's what he's saying, and that's not true.
The guy said he was replying to the brother John Mack, though. He said he was replying to whoever John Mack is. Hold up. Let me throw some more hair.
Maybe Jacob's hair was sheepish, but his arm, it says Jacob.
Then why didn't Rebecca throw a relax in his hair? Hold on, let me grease you back just in case you touch your hair.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
so look, he
said, and listen, was it not a common thing amongst the Israels for the father to kiss the sons on the forehead?
Jacob was smooth skinned.
Yeah.
Was it not a common thing though? Was it not a common thing for the fathers? So if he's kissing him on the forehead, don't you think he's holding his head? You think he'll be like, man, you ain't Esau, boy, get out of here.
No. I don't think I think he was laying.
I mean,
I think he was laying. I think he was laying in bed and he grabbed his arm to grab hold of his arm to prove that. Yeah, I don't think he kissed him.
Look,
no, I'm just saying. You know, throughout
we had laws how to
Oh, look. Genesis 20. Look. Genesis 27:11. Jacob said to Rebekah, his mother, "But my brother Esau is a hairy man, while I have smooth skin." So it's talking about skin. Jacob was not sheep-skinned. He was a smooth-skinned man.
Hey, that
Yeah.
comment you just put up there, brother, that's facts too.
Which one? This one right here. Hold up.
Yep.
What's facts?
No. It was the one. That one right there. That one right there. Facts.
Demetrius, brother boss, Demetrius is back.
We had laws to how to treat them, but it was separate from how we
I'm
treated
seeing him, yo.
Israelites.
He ain't trying to get in. Tell him try to relog in.
Hello.
Tell him to relog in. Down.
So,
all right.
So where did it say that you can hate anybody?
It ain't say hate. Let me give you an example of what that brother's saying.
Right? Bro, we know Torah. Hello, we know
I
the Torah.
understand. I'm just specifying why I agree with him.
Well, it was saying that you can use usury on somebody else that you can use on the Israelites. So we understand that. We understand that. Yeah, we understand.
I was just saying that was facts. That's all I was saying was that was facts.
It is true.
We all done went through this, but the way that we're trying to misuse the scriptures to make it teach something that it don't teach. That's what we're talking about.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know what he posted that towards. I'm just reading the comment. I don't know what he posted it towards.
No, they're trying to make it look like. Go ahead.
It's basically they did treat non-Israelites differently, but they treated them with love and respect. That's what it is.
Absolutely,
right. See,
absolutely.
They're trying to make it. They're trying to make it look like show brotherly love. They're trying to make it look like you only had to show Israel
brotherly love to Israel.
Love.
Yeah,
that's what they're trying to make it look like, and they're trying to use the Torah. They're trying to use the Torah to back up that claim.
No, the Torah told you had to be compassionate towards your men servants and the people you bought with money. We ain't nobody we was whipping and beating. We ain't do none of that.
They had slaves that was non-Israelites.
Now, if you got whipped or beat, it was because you did something. If your slave does this, yada yada yada, whip him. Or
they
yada yada yada.
They punished your
all right,
slave children.
Next paper.
They punished the slave children the same way they punished their own children. They were considered extended family. That's how they treated their slaves, as extended family. They ate at separate tables and stuff like that, but they were still family.
Too, John Mac.
John Mac. People always think Esau is Arab.
Oh, my bad. Facebook user is his name. My bad. Facebook user. That's
Facebook user.
I like that. I like that.
Hey, boss.
No.
Boss.
He's wrong. Yeah. What does he mean? What does he mean?
People, like the Edomites took wives of the Ishmaelites, right? So people try to say, "Oh, now Edomites they Ishmaelites now they're married in." You know what I mean? But what he's saying is true. They are clearly still Edom.
Idumeans did. They lived in Saudi Arabia. They lived right next to Saudi Arabia. Technically, it was
I think Demetrius went back on. You put Demetrius on?
No, I don't see him. Yo, he ain't getting in.
They definitely intermingled with the Ishmaelites because they lived along. They lived alongside one another.
Did he say interbroadcast?
That was a long time ago. My bad. That was a long time ago. That was like an hour ago.
Oh yeah, that was an hour ago. Shoot. The Israelites are, not Israelites. The Arabs were the Ishmaelites. But Edomites also lived right next to the Arabs.
Right next to them. So they married them. They traded with them
and went with them. So they're technically they're not the Arabs, but they
these people don't got avatars.
Listen, it wasn't until the Edomites started to intermingle with the Ishmaelites that they start serving other gods. Prior to that, they were serving Yah.
Yeah.
Arabs are we listening to people that don't got avatars? Boss, tell them to get avatars.
No. Because it's
good. Tight though. His name is Facebook user. That's classic right there. That's OG.
It might just be that it might just be that when they comment, it doesn't show.
Okay.
Yeah, just like it's not showing their name. It just says Facebook user. It might just be that they actually have a Facebook.
Suspect composite drawing number 1. Good comment.
I like avatars. But go ahead.
Look at
Romans 12,
Romans
8.
and
You
8.
just
Yeah, it's 18. That's nice. Look what it
I'm
says.
gonna let y'all take that away, man.
If it be possible, as
that's
much
it.
as life in you, live peaceable with all men. Look at that. So
That's what and that's why Christ said the point behind the law and the prophets was
was
love the
love.
Father and love your neighbors. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
But
about it.
you know, a lot of these camps try to make when they say all men mean it only mean Israel. I don't know how they be twisting it up, but they be trying to make it do that.
We don't care. I don't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't
I
care.
don't.
If you could if you can go to the
Pass.
law of Moses and it says hate not Egyptians and hate not Edomites and
It's not there. You don't
there's
find it nowhere. It ain't there.
if
Oh gosh, man.
if you can
These
go to the
people.
Eventually, we won't even hate Egypt anymore.
we're not supposed to in the first place.
You
That's the
know what I
thing.
mean? That but right now, Egypt and this I said this the other night when we were on a call together, Elvis. Right now, Egypt is in captivity. They're in a captivity, just
See?
like us.
Well, I
Egypt.
don't believe in the captivity. I don't believe in captivities in the 21st century.
Yeah, I don't
You
believe in it either.
okay? Absolutely, absolutely. I have no quarrel with that. You know what I mean? To each his own.
We're full preterists. That's why
I understand. I understand
we
that
didn't
all
go into
prophecy,
that.
y'all, all
Yeah,
prophecy's been
we all
fulfilled.
prophecy
I
before.
understand. I understand that, fella. You know what I
Okay,
mean? Well aware of that. I'm still around.
okay.
You know what I mean? I'm still I politic with it. I politic with anybody, man. Just because I'm Torah only
100%.
does not mean that I can't politic with my brothers. You know what I mean? Ain't no heat.
100%.
We
Well, then,
disagree on some things, but that don't
yeah.
mean nothing. We can
But we can
politic
agree.
together.
We can agree about the law of Moses and what it means.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. We can agree on that. That's that's why
Look,
whenever
hey
they
Joe, look at your name, Joe. Look at that.
What?
what up.
See what I named you on the screen.
Oh, that's what's up. I could dig that. I could dig that. I like that, man. Hey, I'm honored, man. I'm honored, man.
Or on the
Oh,
Hey,
yeah.
we got any more questions?
We got any more questions, bro? Because I can go all
man,
day.
listen. Hold on, I skipped over a couple of them, so it's just some
But
kind of redundant stuff that they just
but
need to
yes,
rewind for.
but yes, Esau.
But hold,
Right.
here go a long one. What did he say right here?
We everything and all Yah creation with love, and there is only one love is Yah and His truth. Truth hurts, but even we have to deal with it, just as heathens have to deal with truth and respect their position, which is supposed to serve the children of the promise.
Facts. Facts.
I disagree.
Facts.
I disagree.
I got more too,
I
though. But go
disagree.
ahead.
See, that's called
Give,
that's a
give y'all points. No, give y'all points real quick.
that's a supremacy type of mindset. You know, that's the same thing white people. That's the same thing white people did to with the Hamite curse. They enslaved black people because of the Hamite lie that came out about Ham being the servants of his brother, even though it wasn't Ham, it was Canaan. But they said Ham is African, so they enslaved Africans. That's basically you're flipping it, basically, but using religion, not religion, using uh, you're misinterpreting what the scripture is actually saying
Right.
about them,
That's what's going on.
and
That's what's going on.
you're doing the same thing the Romans did with us and Jewish people with their Talmud, because it came from the Talmud first, and then it went to the Roman Catholic church. But then the Roman Catholics acted on it with the Spanish, and they came into Africa and enslaved West Africans. So you're doing the same thing they're doing. So don't have that mindset where um, children of the
Uh-oh.
promise is only Israelites and then everybody else is heathen, because that's not
I
how
need
it
to
works.
see the response to this one right here. I'm bringing it up on stage.
Well, and can I talk about their possession? Can I talk about their possession real fast?
Oh, man.
You see, look, he said,
There's a
Elvin,
Uh,
there's a
Elvin, hold on. I'm gonna just read the question that he wanted to do that boss pulled up. What nation will be ruling when Christ returns? So you can go ahead now.
all
That's the
right,
same.
man.
It relates to that thing that the other guy said, and I'm like, this is what people don't. That supremacy
All right,
nonsense. But go on,
all right. So here we go. What nation will be ruling when Christ returns? Well, according to Daniel chapter 2 and Daniel chapter 7,
7.
there was only 4 kingdoms counting from Babylon. So now we're going to see who's going to be ruling. The first kingdom was Babylon. So now, Who took down Babylon? You can read it in Daniel 5. So now we got the introduction to the Mede and Persians. We can also read this with the rams and the he-goat. So you got the Mede and the Persians coming in, the Medo-Persians, and then who took out the Medo-Persians? According to the he-goat,
yeah,
the king of Grecia took him out. So we have right Alexander the Great. So we got, and that's what the Book of Maccabees is about. So we got 3 kingdoms in a row. We got Babylon, we got Medo-Persia under Cyrus, and eventually Xerxes and all of that. And then we got the Grecians who come under Alexander. So now we have the 4th kingdom. And woe and behold, we have a guy who said he was the Messiah that came under the Romans, who in chronological order was the 4th kingdom ruler. So according to Daniel 7, the Christ was going to come on the clouds with glory. Now notice, he's coming on the clouds with glory, and he's going into the Ancient of Days, and he's receiving his kingdom. Once again, notice the literature. He's going on the clouds. So, and you can read this in Malachi 4 also. He's going to stand up, and he's going to go into the temple. So, first of all, people think Christ coming on the cloud was him coming back to the earth.
No.
In Daniel, his coming on the clouds was him going back
to the Father,
to the temple. Right, to the temple. And him getting the kingdom. And woe and behold, in Acts chapter 1, he left on a cloud. Matthew 28, he said, all power in heaven and earth has been given unto me. Acts chapter 1, he goes up on a cloud. Daniel chapter 7, he goes into the temple and get his kingdom. So now, what kingdom is going to be ruling when Christ returned? He already returned in the 1st century when Rome was ruling. And what did Christ's return mean? What did it mean? He took the law of Moses away and gave them the kingdom. How do we know? We know 2 ways. When he talked to the woman in Samaria, he said, and she was asking him, do we need to worship on this mount, Mount Gerizim, or the mount in Jerusalem? And he said, woman, it's going to come a time when you don't worship the Father on this mountain or in Jerusalem, but those who worship the Father will worship him in spirit and in truth. So that's one thing. Second of all, according to the Torah, as well as the New Testament, if you do the law, you got to live in the law. So if you offend one point, you offend all of the points. So now, when it comes to time of the law, when you got to do something in the temple, you can't do it. Therefore, you are offending the law and you're breaking the whole law of Moses. Because now you can't even do the things you're supposed to do, making you a transgressor of the law, which is sin. So Christ said, I'm going to take the whole thing away and give you guys the kingdom, because there's no law that Moses can write that's going to make you be okay with me and the Father. Only I can give you that. And that's what he came and did.
He did. He gave them the Holy Spirit. That's what made them. He said, "What nation will be ruling when Christ returns?" You're making the assumption that Christ hasn't returned yet. This is what full preterists believe. We believe that all biblical prophecy has been fulfilled, including his return. Now, when you read the scriptures, you'll see like it's supposed to be the end of the world and the end of time and yada yada yada, and you read that and you go, since we still here, since the planet is still here, how come that automatically means Jesus didn't return yet? That's the logic that they use. But I tell you, do word studies into those words, specifically words like world and and earth. Those two words are good examples. You will see in like Matthew 24 where it says, "When will be the time of?" They were at the disciples asked Jesus, "What will be the time of the end of the?" They say, "End of the world," as if the whole earth is gonna explode when Jesus returns. But if you go look at what that word, what the definition of that word is, it's the Greek word aeon, which aeon is short for eon, which means age. The end of they didn't ask him the end of the world. They asked him the end of the age, or the end of a period of time. They wasn't talking about the whole planet exploding when Jesus came back. They was talking about a specific period of time ending that that would usher in a new era. And then you guys make the assumption that the new kingdom we would be able to see it. It would be a place where that you could see, like physically, that earthly people, physical tangible people would be living on this planet in the new kingdom. And that's not what the scripture teaches. The scripture teaches that the new kingdom would be, you wouldn't be able to say low here or low there. It will be an invisible kingdom. So if it was here today, you wouldn't know because you wouldn't be able to see it. So you gotta do word studies. And so a lot
I
of
got
what
a
the
I got a fun fact for you, man,
was
about that word you just said, right?
a
Aeon, right?
yeah,
Aeon. It's a Greek word, right?
yeah.
So aeon, and this is crazy, right? This will blow your mind, right? So you hear people speak of and somebody else, get your Google screen up because I want you to see this. Don't take my word for
Got it
whoever got a
down.
computer. Share your screen and pull this up. Go to your Google bar.
I'm
You want to do
sharing
it?
it. I
You
got
got
it.
it? All right.
Your Google bar, type in Strong's Greek eternity. Could you share your screen? Could you share your screen,
I'm
brother
waiting for him
boss?
now. I'm waiting for him.
Okay. My bad.
Let me see. Hold up. I forgot to put the show which screen I'm sharing. So do you know
Eternity.
the Strong's Aeonos?
Yep. Aeonios, right? So this is the
Yeah,
plural form of aeon,
yeah.
right? Aeon is the singular. If you click back one word to 165, aeon is the word right there, right? So look at what aeon means.
A space of time and an age.
An age, right? A space of time. It is not
Talking about
forever.
yeah,
It's talking about like there was the Bronze Age, then you had
exactly,
the Stone Age. These were
exactly.
not these. This is what the Greeks called uh time spans, right? Or eternities.
Let me let
Now,
me let me show him the you.
go ahead.
Let me show you the Matthew 24 because this is um what Matthew 24, right? Wait, I'm in there already. Oh, you see translations. This is you gotta be careful with translational errors because there are translational errors in the scriptures. Now, look, and as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, "Tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming?" So they was asking him, when, if you read up here, when will the temple be destroyed? What's the sign of his coming, as in his second return, and of the end of the world? Now, if you read this end of the world, you think the whole planet is going to be destroyed.
Yeah, he's just saying the end of the age.
And you go to the Greek word that's used here, and it's aeon, which is eon. We still say that to this day,
It
eon.
still say eon to this day.
And you click the Greek word, it means it's ever. It's used as world, but it's incorrect. It says a period of time or age, and there's actually a word in the scriptures that's used for world that's a different, totally different Greek word than aeon. But I'm gonna show you why aeon does not mean world when you show where it's used. So all
You
these
just
verses,
showed them
no,
on
no,
Google.
but
What it mean?
when you show, you gotta show them in the, you gotta show them in the scriptures where, because you can basically, you can, it's called a word study.
I could dig it. I could dig it. I could dig it. I could dig it.
You can
Handle your
get the,
business.
you can get the
Much respect.
definition, you can get the definition of a word from the scriptures itself. So this Greek word is used in all of these scriptures. So if you go here and read all of them, you could, all right, so forever, right? That's aeon. So that's a period of time.
Yep.
This one says world, but this is incorrect. This is supposed to say neither in this age, neither, and this is this specific word here isn't in the text. They added it in,
Yep.
and you could tell because it's in italics. But
It's
this
a
is supposed,
purposeful
but
mistransliteration.
yes, it's an addition to the text, which they shouldn't have did. But it says neither. This should say age, and I'm gonna keep going. You could literally replace each one of these words with age and it would still make sense. And the
Yep.
care of this age and the deceiver. But I'm going to show you specifically where it's talking about a period of time so that you can see what I'm talking about. Forever. Ever is a period of time. So this word either could, it only has to have one meaning. It only has to mean a period of time.
That's it.
It can't mean world. And you see never, that's a period of time. Hereafter forever, that's a period of time. Jacob forever, that's so if you put for world here and he shall reign over the house of Jacob for world, that wouldn't make sense at all. So this word could only mean period of time. It could only be talking about a period of time, not the whole world being destroyed. Is what I'm trying to is Matthew 24, not the whole planet being destroyed. Now you can find where world is used. You can go find the Greek word for world in the scriptures in the New Testament, and you'll see that it's a totally separate word from well in certain cases it's a different word from aeon. It's not aeon. It's a different word, but I don't know when I lost the thing.
And can I when you done, I wanna add something about that age what the brother brought out, like the age of steel, the age of iron, the age, all that. I wanna bring out what age they was talking about.
Oh, that's Chronicles. That's Old Testament. You can bring it out.
Because we got, I bet. So now we understand, first of all, that the world wasn't talking about being blowed up, because in Ecclesiastes, it said the world was going to endure forever. The earth was going to endure forever. So
Exactly.
now,
Absolutely.
What
so
verse is that?
now you
What
see,
verse? Oh,
uh,
nah, that's Greek.
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
that's Hebrew. But you see here, right here, and I'm gonna let you go. Colossians 2:20. So this is the New Testament. This is Greek, right? You see the word used here for world. Let me read the verse. Wherefore, if ye be dead with Christ from the rudiments of the world, so if you can't put age here, a period of time, it wouldn't be talking about a period of time, but it's the same word, world, right? So this word here should be aeon. If aeon meant the world as in the planet, this word should be aeon. But you go down here and you look at it, it's the word cosmos, which you know what the cosmos is. The cosmos is the cosmos, which is the whole the universe, the world, including the planets, the planet Earth, and yada yada yada. This will never ever be mistaken for the word period age or a period of time,
No.
but for some weird reason they have the same meaning for two separate Greek words, which doesn't make sense. If if Matthew 24 was talking about the whole planet universe ending, they would have used the Greek word cosmos, but they didn't. They used another Greek word, which also talks, that word is aeon, which also talks about a certain period of time. And they weren't asking him the end of the whole world, the whole cosmos. They were asking him the end of a certain period of time, which what they were asking him was the end of the age of Moses, the end of the Old Testament, the end of the laws of Moses. That's what they were asking him. They was not asking him the end of the whole planet Earth, because they understood that the Earth would continue to be here forever. But the kingdom, the new kingdom, is an invisible kingdom. It was never to replace this planet. It was just going to be here and be invisible. You can't see it. But go on, Elvin, or what you was going to say.
And yeah, I want to talk about the age that they was trying to see when it was going to end. So now I want to give. I got it.
Pull up a verse. I'll pull it up.
Well, it's just Matthew 24:3. But I gotta give props to the translators. Let me give props to the translators real fast, because what you said is correct. And if you don't know that they use the word world there several times for different words like cosmos and aeon and kyrios and all that stuff, you're gonna be confused. You're gonna be confused. But a couple of things happen with the translators. All right, the first thing, we know that words evolve over time. So the word, I don't want to say this and get us booted off, but the word gay, back in the days, it meant happy, but now somebody mean it to mean like homosexual. So we see that words evolve after a certain number of time. That's one thing. But I can only speculate why the translators use the word world there. And the way that I speculated is because the temple was the Jews' heaven and earth. Once again, you guys got to understand these type of idiomatic language that the Jews used. So the temple, when you read in the Bible, heaven and earth might pass away, and you do your word study, and you like, see, look, heaven is sky, earth is ground, so we still got the sky and the ground. You forget that they have things called idiomatic phrases, and heaven and earth was one of them. So the Jews' heaven and earth was their temple. So when the translators put the word world there, right after Christ saying the temple is going to be destroyed, it makes sense to the people living in the 15, 16, and 1700s. Now, you got us, 21st century, we don't know what heaven and earth mean anymore.
Yeah.
So now we're thinking about cosmos. We're thinking about the earth again. So that's why people think the earth is supposed to explode when Christ came back.
Keep on.
Oh, yeah. But so the heaven and earth right there represents, it's an idiomatic phrase for temple. So Christ told them the temple is going to be destroyed, and that was going to end the age. But what age? The age that needed the temple. And the only age that needed the temple was an age that dealt with law and death. Law and death. Because when they read law, they had a veil over their heart. They was carnally minded. They had death. The law, they needed the temple in order to do the law. So the age of law and death, or you could call it the age of Torah if you want to. You can call it the age of Moses if you want to. But that age right there, they understood it was going to be destroyed. And contrary to what other people believe about a third temple, they knew when that temple was destroyed, there was no more prophecy of a future temple being rebuilt. The temple in Ezekiel is a heavenly temple, not an earthly temple for my people who want to take Ezekiel 36 all the way down further to be literal. But anyway, so the heaven and earth being destroyed was the temple being destroyed, ending the need for Torah. Now you got to follow the tenets of the kingdom, which Christ already told you was brotherly love and love the Father and believing on Christ and all that stuff. So that was the tenet of it all right there. So Christ is coming, in Matthew 24 and 3. If you look up the word coming right there, that word is what? Presence? What's the word?
Parousia.
Parousia. Yeah, parousia. It's presence. So when they was looking for a crisis, parousia, a parousia doesn't have to be in person. It's just a presence. And I can give you, and let me try to give you a modern day example. If let's say you had a father, and your father was a disciplinary, and he disciplined you real good, and he taught you not to steal, right? So then you out with your friends, and your friends are stealing, but you won't steal because you remember what your father have instilled in you. His parousia is upon you. His presence is upon you. He's not literally there, but everything that he stood for is there. So when Christ told them his coming was going to be when the temple was destroyed, this whole time Christ has been prophesying about Jerusalem being destroyed.
And the temple, yeah.
So now in Ezekiel, in the prophets, he said it time and time again. When this judgment occurred, then you will know I am the Lord. So how was they going to know when Christ was the Lord? When the temple fell. When the temple fell, they
Like
wouldn't know he was the Lord. Amen. Because that's him being a prophet, prophesying, I am the Son of God. I am the Word. The temple is going to be destroyed. So if the temple is destroyed, that means he's the Son of God and the Word.
Like you said,
yes.
Like you said,
exactly.
But I gotta ask something.
That's his presence. My bad. So that's his coming. Was when the Roman army came in judgment for him to destroy the temple. He didn't come physically. He came through them. But go ahead.
I gotta add something onto that because when you read this verse, heaven and earth, I have a slightly different interpretation of what the heaven and earth mean, but I see what you mean because I read in Josephus where he said the temple is basically a microcosm of heaven and earth.
Well, not just that, my brother. If you read down further in Matthew 24, they do what they call Hebrew parallelism and chisms. You know, when they start at a certain point, they start at a certain point, and they make it meet in the middle. In parallelism, they say it one way and another way. Up top, he said heaven and earth was going to be destroyed. At the bottom, around verse 32 or 34, he said, I'm sorry, up top, he said the temple was going to be destroyed. At the bottom, he said heaven and earth was going to pass away.
I see what you mean. I see what you mean.
Okay.
I got you. But I'm gonna share because I believe both of it. That is both talking about the temple and it my other interpretation. I hold two of them. But I'm gonna tell you what it is. So heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words shall not pass away. Now, when you read that, when you read heaven, you're thinking of the sky. You're thinking of our sky, right? Thinking of like the the clouds and whatnot. And then when you read earth, you're thinking of the whole planet, the planet Earth, which includes the sky. But we're not gonna go there. But that's the incorrect way to read this verse. There's one way to read it where heaven and earth is a code word for the temple, and then there's another way to read it, which is I read it both the heaven and earth is um, a code word for the temple. But if you do a word study on what heaven is, what the heaven that Jesus was talking about, you click it. It's the Hebrew Oranos. You go and read. It's going to tell you the definition. It's going to say the sky, but go to read where you look where it's used. This will give you the definition, the real definition of what what heaven is, or Renos. This is the same heaven in Matthew 20, and in the heaven and earth shall pass away verses. So you see, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. So this is the same Uranus, that the same heaven that's used in the heaven and earth shall pass away verse. So you keep going. And lo, the heavens were opened unto him, and he saw the Spirit of God descending. So so this is the kingdom of heaven. So the 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 kingdom of heaven the kingdom of heaven that God resided in before the new kingdom came, that was invisible. You can't see the Father, if that makes sense. You can't see where he resides in, and it's saying that that would pass away, not our sky, not our physical sky that you can see. It's saying that the heaven that the Father resided in would pass away, and because the same word that's used for heaven and earth inside those heaven and earth verses, the heaven part, the heaven, everywhere it's used is talking about a spiritual type, that's the heaven that's invisible. And I'm gonna keep going and show y'all. And lo, a voice from heaven saying, "This is my beloved son, in whom I'm well pleased." This is God speaking from his throne, from the old heaven, basically, if that makes any sense. The old heaven that
Can I ask you a question, brother?
was up.
Uh, what to you is the difference between the old heaven and the new heaven?
the old the old heaven is where the first the first throne room of where God dwelt, if that makes any sense. I'm not talking about the sky that we can see, physically see. I'm talking about where the Father dwelt. At
Where
least
where can I find that at?
if you look, uh, it's word study. This heaven and earth shall pass away. This heaven here, if you look at where this word is used in all the text of where arenos, the word is used, I'm sharing the screen, you'll see that one of them is
Okay,
kingdom.
you're in the Greek. Never mind. I'm
Yeah, I'm in the
sorry.
Greek. I'm in the New Testament. The kingdom of heaven is talking about it. Let me give you all another example. And glorify your Father which is in heaven. We can't physically see the Father's kingdom that's in heaven, if that makes any sense. We can see our sky, we can see the clouds and whatnot, but we can't see heaven, if you get what I'm saying. There's a difference between the two. So when it says heaven and earth shall pass away, it's saying that invisible heaven that where the Father resided, that we can't see, would pass away. And when it says earth, this is an incorrect translation of the word earth. This is the word gay, which is what you hear in words like geography, or it's geography, but that's where the prefix gay comes from. Geo, think of geo. This is the actual word land. It's saying the heaven where the Father resides, and you can go read right here.
Is
Matt,
that Gaia?
something like Gaia as well. Yeah, landmass. If you read and you so this is where the word is used in all the verses. This is gay. And you, Bethlehem, the land of Judah. You can't put earth there, if that makes any sense. When you read Matthew, it says heaven and earth shall pass away. So this word could either mean earth, or it mean land, which is technically the same thing. But when a normal person thinks of earth, they think of our whole planet. But what this was talking about was the land. A certain land would pass away. Is what I'm getting at. So is you see, this is where it's used, land of Judah. You can't put earth of Judah there because it wouldn't make sense, because earth is talking about the whole planet. This is talking about a specific landmass, if that makes any sense. So when you read heaven and earth shall pass away, Jesus is saying the heaven where the Father resided, the one that's invisible, would pass away. And the earth that would pass away would not be the whole planet, but it would be a landmass. That where it should be heaven and land shall pass away, but my word shall not pass away. The heaven where the Father resided is and the land, a specific landmass, will pass away, but my word shall not pass away. It's not talking about the heaven as in our physical sky. and the earth, as in the whole planet, is talking about the heaven that's invisible, that you can't see, where the Father resides, and the land that a specific landmass, which that landmass was the land of Jerusalem. So,
Can I
it
ask you another question, brother?
was a
Are we still live, right?
yeah,
I'm gonna hold that question for a later date. Continue what you got going on, man. I'm listening.
but yeah, that's all I wanted to say. What it when we read the heaven and earth verse, we misinterpret it. We understand it differently. But did they go? I don't see the. I think we're the only two people in here.
No, I'm here. I'm here. I'm
Oh
here.
oh shoot. They went somewhere, but welcome. That's all I wanted to say. Yeah, yeah. I think actually Matthew 24, the angels of heaven. I think that's the same word. Renos. Let's see. Yeah. So it's talking about. It's not talking about our physical sky. It's talking about the heavens that is invisible. It's just a not a translation. The earth one, the earth word, the gay. That's a translational error. All everywhere it says gay in the New Testament, it should say land. It shouldn't say earth, which is it's kind of the same thing, but land is not talking about the whole planet. It's talking about a specific landmass, not the whole planet. And basically, that land that Jesus was talking about that would pass away would be the land of Jerusalem. And that heaven that Jesus was talking about that would pass away would be the spiritual heaven, the old heaven that the Father resided in. So that the new heaven, which is the new Jerusalem, the new heaven is going to be well, the new heaven was going to be a new place where the Father resided, and then the new land that came with it was going to be the new Jerusalem, if that makes any sense. Not a new whole planet, basically, but a spiritual landmass, basically a new spiritual landmass that would be, and that's what they call the new heaven and new earth, New Jerusalem, which is both a land and a spiritual place. It's both a place where spirits reside, and it's a spiritual landmass. It's a kingdom on a landmass that is spiritual. Okay? It's not a physical place like our sky, our we call it heaven, but our sky and our earth is not talking about. That was never going to pass away. It was
Well, well, I want to do a little bit more because and y'all, this is me and brother Daryl. And brother, I'm pretty sure. I hope I'm saying your name right. Am I saying Daryl right? It is Daryl, right?
yes. My name is Daryl.
Okay, I was making sure I wasn't supposed to be calling you Darrell or something. But brother, this is our first time that me and him really didn't have a conversation. But we didn't talk plenty of time over Facebook text messages and stuff. So the brother's very very sharp. So when it comes to sharpening swords, he one of the ones that I sharpen swords with. So now I got to give a little bit more insight on why I believe heaven and earth was the temple. I got to give a little bit more insight.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to go to the prophets. Uh, Boss, you still here? Did he deal? I guess he deal. Well, can you pull up Haggai 2?
Yeah, I'll pull it up.
All right. Right.
All right.
Well, here you go. All right. Haggai 2 and verse number 6.
For thus saith the Lord of hosts, yet once it is a little while, and I will shake the heavens and the earth and the sea and the dry land.
Uh-huh. And then verse 7.
And I will shake all nations, and the desire of all nations shall come, and I will fill this house of glory, saith the Lord of hosts.
Okay, so now we realize that the house is the temple, right?
Yeah.
Hello? Okay.
Yeah.
And then verse 8, okay, so verse 8 and 9, right?
Yeah. The silver is mine, and the gold is mine, saith the Lord. The glory of this latter house shall be greater than of the former, saith the Lord of hosts. And in this place will I give peace, saith the Lord of hosts.
Okay, so now we see that the old Jerusalem, the temple, had been destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's talking about once more will I shake the heavens and earth again. And then he goes on to talk about who's gonna his house, and his new house is gonna be even better than the former house. So this is just the way that I connect things. If he said once more I will shake heaven and earth, and we got Christ speaking on the temple being destroyed. All right. And we know the temple was destroyed the first time. And this is them coming back, rebuilding the temple, Zerubbabel's temple. And it don't look as good as the first one looked. My mind says that's the first time that he shook heaven and earth. Because he said, once more will I shake it. And then he started talking about how much glorious the new house is going to look compared to the former house. So the way that my mind works, and this is what the author of Hebrews is actually quoted this, talking about the kingdom and etc. So what I get from this is that he can only be talking about, as and you know, Josephus said that the temple was a microcosm,
Microcosm, yeah.
but he could, yeah, he can only be talking about, to me, Haggai. When Haggai spoke on it, he was talking about the temple being the heaven and
Destroyed.
earth that got shook. Yeah, they got shook,
Okay.
and it's gonna get shooken again. And then you got Matthew, well, Hebrews actually piggybacking off of this. He actually quoted the Hebrews 12 actually quote this same exact text talking about the New Jerusalem coming down, the New Jerusalem, and we know Jerusalem, the New Jerusalem, was going to be the Holy of Holies, which is in part of pretty much the center part of the portion of the temple. So that's one of the reasons why I get the heavens and earth is actually the temple, and you get, and I understand that you get the heavens and earth is talking about what's going on the spiritual realm as well as what's going on the earthly realm at the same time, which I
No,
can dig it because
I,
huh?
I say the heaven that he was talking about was the spiritual heaven where the Father resided, and then the earth,
Right, right,
the land is not earth. The land that it was talking about was Jerusalem, which includes
right, right.
the temple. So I wasn't really disagreeing with you at all.
Right,
I
right,
was
right,
saying
right.
the
So
land
yeah,
was
yeah. So I
Jerusalem.
get what
Yeah,
you're saying. Well, and I dig it. I dig the heavenly and the earthly interacting amongst each other and something happening in both realms. I get that. I
yeah,
mean, I dig it. I dig it. I dig it. I dig it. So I can rock with both point of views.
yeah. That's what I
Hey,
was saying. I
Daryl
rock
and
with.
Elvin,
What's up?
Huh?
checking the WhatsApp chat. I dropped the link in
Oh, my
there.
bad.
You know, no, checking the WhatsApp chat. I dropped the link in there, right?
Uh-huh.
Check that link out because, like, tomorrow, what we're gonna do is we're gonna make this gathering uber entertaining. Because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna ask questions to you guys based off of you guys being people who believe all
All
prophecies have
prophecies
been
is fulfilled.
fulfilled, and
So this will be more entertaining. You
Yeah,
understand?
it'll be more orderly. You know what I mean?
It'll be more orderly
Yeah,
because not only am I asking questions, but that will influence other people to
to ask
ask
questions. Yeah.
questions. There will be trickle down questions, follow up questions. You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, bro said that. That remind me of this. Let me boom. Let me post this. Now it's different things coming in, but see, it's a beautiful thing. It's a wonderful thing that we actually cross paths because this can actually go somewhere.
Yeah.
It can go
That
somewhere.
we was gonna do that originally, but we got sidetracked with somebody asked him about DNA and da 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 da. But
And you
w-
like listen, I'm a very oh man, I'm a very savvy brother, right? So like when I say I'm big on vernacular, man, stupid like I'm gonna show you something right now that'll blow your mind. Go to your Google bar and type in Strong's Greek torment or torture. Pick the word, it doesn't matter. Either one. Torment or torture. Same word's gonna pop up. It's gonna be basanos or
us,
basanismos. One or basanizo, one of the three. Right? They're all next to each other. Right? Basanos will be the root word, basanizo will be the action of doing it, basanismos will be what you're doing. Right? So now what is basanizo?
torture, I torture, I torment, I buffet as of waves.
Hmm.
Or to torture is basically what the definition is.
Now scroll down just a tad. It says it comes from a word what? Basanos, right?
Basano,
Click on that word. What does that word mean?
a touchstone, a dark stone used in testing metals. Examination by torture, torture. Yeah.
So
A black silicon-based stone used as a touchstone to test the purity of precious metals.
you know they still use these today in pawn shops. You ever went to a pawn shop and tried to buy some jewelry or pawn some jewelry? Not to get all in your business, but if you ever have, then you know what I'm talking about. They take it, they squirt this stuff on this, they scratch the ring or the necklace on this rock and then squirt some acid on it.
Yeah,
If that acid reacts, then it's real. If it doesn't react, then it's fake. Right?
yeah.
That is what the Greeks called torture, torment. So whenever you hear the words eternal torture or eternal torment, it's funny that the Greeks thought age long was eternal and testing the purity of precious metals was torture. But in English, you see, this is where vernacular is why I'm so big on vernacular. In English, the vernacular says torture is to do wrong to someone. You see, English takes words and another example. What is the English word for Spain?
Spain, right?
Thank you. What's the English word for Venezuela?
Venezuela.
How is it English? How is that English? If you just take a word and say, this is what it means, this is what it is. What is the English word for burrito? How is that possible?
Burrito.
The English word for taco. Come on, man. These are not English words. These words are long,
Yeah,
outdated
they're old.
English.
They're old.
But what English is, and this is crazy, is there are two types of languages. Well, three, I'm sorry. Three types of language. You have hybrid languages, which is the latter of the three. You have abstract languages, which is the middle child of the three. And then you have concrete languages like uh, Coptic or uh, Idevu or Albarom, which people like to call Hebrew, which is subsequently a Latin word. That's a whole nother topic. But even, excuse me, Latin is an abstract language. And Latin gave birth, or Latin came from what language?
Was it Greek? If I'm not
No,
mistaken.
Latin came from Aramaic.
No, no, it came from Greek before Greek.
Remember, Greek and Latin are the same language. What do the Greeks speak? Latin. They don't speak Greek. They
Hebrew.
have Greek terminology that they use that only the Greeks use. Like the people from Sicily call pizza, pizza, but the people from Italy call it pizza. You feel what I'm saying?
Greek. Latin came from Greek, and then Greek came from Phoenician, which was similar to Aramaic and Hebrew.
Yeah, Phoenician is like paleo. Paleo and
Paleo.
Phoenician
Yeah.
are paleo is Greek. It's a Greek word. Paleo means the beginning
I think
or the
what happened.
start.
I think what happened is Phoenicians ended up living amongst Greeks, because before then Greeks didn't have a language. They didn't have a. They were barbarians and stuff. And then
What happened was the Greeks went into Egypt and took it.
no, before that though. Before that, it was Phoenicians that went into Greece. That's why you see those pictures
Yeah,
of
yeah, yeah, yeah. The Phoenicians and the Greeks were they not only did they war a few times, but they were also conglomerates.
it. And
They got together and whooped some butt.
if you look way back when, ancient Greek is actually Phoenician.
Hmm.
So and this is where they got their language. The Greeks got that because before the date. That's why actually
That's
that's
why the Greek language is a phonetic language.
yeah, and that's why
Okay, look, Hebrew. The first letter in Hebrew is Allah, right?
yeah,
Well, the first letter in Greek is
is
Alpha.
out yeah, it's the
The
same way.
second letter in Hebrew is Bat. The second letter in
Is
Greek is
beta.
Beta.
Yeah, they got
The
that
third
and
letter in Hebrew is Gamal. Then you got Gamma. You know what I mean? Alpha, beta,
yeah,
gamma. It's just it's a trickle down language. Those are
yeah,
Greek is a hybrid language.
and Greek, and then Latin came after
Latin
Greek.
is an abstract. Latin is an abstract language. Latin separated itself from Greek, but what Latin did was based itself off of Aramaic, which means you based yourself off of Greek.
Yeah,
You feel
basically,
me?
it's a
This is why the Sicilians and the Italians beef. Because one says I'm Greek and the other says I'm Latin. Like I can't make this up, bro.
Sicilians have who was it? It was some black conqueror who conquered Sicily, and Sicilians, they have way back. It's far gone now, but they had black ancestry because some
Yeah.
some guy conquered. I think it Hannibal.
It may have been Hannibal. Hannibal was a bad dude.
It was some African guy who
It
conquered.
may have been Hannibal because the only one you hear about is Shaka Zulu, but he was a local warrior.
He was a
He
local
didn't.
warrior.
He wasn't worldwide. You know what I mean? The only one that went around slapping shit was Mansa Musa and Hannibal. You know what I mean?
It was
Them the only
somebody.
two.
It was somebody who conquered
It
Sicily,
had
but
to be Hannibal. Because remember, the Sicilians were tied closely with the Greeks, and the Greeks went in. The Greeks are the ones that well, you know, Rome had taken over Greece
It
at
was
that time.
Carthaginians.
Yeah, the
Hannibal.
Carthaginians.
Hannibal
They
stayed in Carthage.
yeah they went in killed him.
Yeah, so for a little while, Sicily had some black
Mm-hmm.
people in it.
Mm-hmm.
Who,
So did Ireland and Scotland. They gotta know, like, when you look in history, when you see what they call the Dark Ages, that's not because they don't have history on it. That's because there was a lot of black people in rule.
yeah, they
For
was.
instance, King
Yeah.
James was the only king, not just the only black king, but the only king to rule over Scotland, England, and Ireland at the same time. And since he was Negroid, they'll tell you he was a homosexual when he wasn't.
They do say that. I
He
heard that.
wasn't a homosexual. He wasn't having sex with Lord Buckingham. He was 200 years past Lord Buckingham. Lord Buckingham wasn't around.
Well, gentlemen, I got a little something I gotta handle.
Handle your business, man. You
So,
know, do your thing, man.
but don't y'all Sunday, because I know we said tomorrow, but Sunday is when we actually supposed to meet back up. Sunday.
Look in that chat, bro.
We were,
Go look
we
at
were
that.
supposed to
Look
be,
at what I
Trust me.
shared, bro.
I'm
we were
I'm
supposed to
I'm
be a
I'm gonna
test.
be prepared.
Yeah, I'm gonna be
Yeah,
prepared.
so
Yeah,
be prepared because
I'm gonna be yeah,
listen.
I'm gonna be prepared.
I ask squiggity questions.
We were
You
supposed to
dig?
do it. We were supposed to do a test run today. We wasn't even supposed to do all that.
Also, what you guys need to do, and I'm just being real with you, like, and Daryl, you know
Yeah,
what I
what's up?
mean? And this is not a shot to you, Elvin. You're a truck driver. You don't have time to do this. But Delvin, you seem like a brother that takes a lot of notes,
Mhm.
right? You might want to get you some paper and get you some scripture to back what you're talking about. Because I'm gonna ask you.
Okay, okay, I
And I'm
got
gonna
you.
ask you not for opinion. I don't want opinion. I want you to back it with facts.
I'm gonna bring scripture and historical
Now,
proof.
also facts can be included, but the basis of your answer should be scripture. If you want to include facts with it, that is welcome and wonderful. I'm not trying to dictate or say how, but I'm just saying like I uh I don't toot my horn on nobody, but I know how to control a crowd.
I got you. It I yeah, I got
Yeah,
plenty of
he be
scripture.
alright. He be
I'll be
alright.
all right.
Yeah, he
I'll
be
be
alright.
No, when I say control a
Yeah.
crowd, I mean I can keep it entertaining. And I know you guys are educated. I'm just saying a lot of people in the chat, this will alleviate a lot of unnecessary questions. You back it with scripture. They want to come with scripture. That's cool. We'll take a look at it and then we'll keep it moving. Right. But as long as you base yours with scripture, no one can argue that you're not basing yours with scripture. That
I mean
that eliminates a bunch of unnecessary posts.
I'm gonna use scripture and historical record. I'm gonna
Yeah,
use
you can
both
do
of them.
that. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You can do that. But just for
There's
the
gonna be no
people
doubt.
who are
There's
going
gonna
to
be
say that, because they're going to be people who say, "Where's the scripture? Where it say that at? Show me where it say that. Show
Well,
me
do
where that."
are we New Old Testament, New Testament, right?
Both.
both.
If
Yeah.
you look at
Of
what
All
I
right.
course.
just sent you, there's Old Testament and New Testament verses in there.
You gotta use Old Testament and New Testament.
Listen. I'm not just basing everything off that. Listen, I'm Torah only. I'm not gonna force y'all to be Torah only. I'm gonna ask questions based on both books.
All right, we got you. Don't worry. We gonna bring all the chicken, all the chicken
Absolutely,
wing. We can
absolutely, man.
we can put in the group chat.
That's why I said I would save that question for a later time because I was like, no. I
Like
don't want to spoil nothing.
throughout
I
the
want
day,
to
we can put like questions in the WhatsApp that'll be asked. You know what I mean? So that
absolutely. So you
all
can
of us
go
will. Yeah.
absolutely. What I'm gonna do tonight or tonight and tomorrow is I'm gonna make a list of questions. There's only gonna be maybe 10 questions, right? It's not gonna be a
Mhm.
lot of questions. Now, after them 10 questions, the audience can have follow-up questions, or if they got questions based off other questions, that's cool. If we can't get to all 10 questions, we don't have to. As long as they're entertained and they interact.
Yeah. That's not a problem.
You know what I mean? And y'all brothers are very entertaining. Like, come on, man. We are on two separate sides of the gates, but I'll sit in the room with y'all for hours.
There's, there's, there's
Facts.
a lot of stuff.
Hey,
I
man.
got.
Facts,
I've
bro.
been watching Elvis, so I be knowing what he gonna say. That's why I pulled up his verses so quick. I know what he gonna say. I agree with a lot of the stuff he says.
All present.
I be watching. I don't be saying that, but I
Yeah,
be watching.
we have.
But
Like I tell everybody, everybody gonna have their own
I
it's
will
like
say
yeah,
this,
thing, but as long as
Elvin.
we
yeah.
come together and dialogue,
Elvin,
come
you have
together
a
and
nice
dialogue. What's going on, brother?
presentation. You have a nice presentation. I give you that. You know what I mean? The way you deliver your information, it's pleasant. It's not arrogant. It's not boastful. You know what I mean? It's not snide. I like that about you, brother. You know what I mean?
It's patient. Like
Yeah, I like
people,
that, man. I
people is
like that.
see we didn't no one slang. We didn't you didn't sling us no insults to nobody. Getting emotional.
I like
That's a
that. I
Right.
like that.
that's a waste of time. It's not the emotions
I,
don't need to be getting
I will
masked.
say this. I will say this though, right? And this will work for. I practice this a lot, so I'm not including myself in this, but I'm asking you, brothers, right? So, like, say you're referring to people who don't agree with you or who might say certain things that are adverse to what you're saying, right? Instead of saying them people or those, be like our brethren that adhere to something different think this, or you want to always keep it peaceful, man, because you never want people to come in with a warring spirit. It's not a war. It could be a debate and don't have to be a war.
Yeah, you don't need the result of name calling. Like
Yeah, because
just
when you start to say dumb dudes, then they'll start to say, well, y'all campers or y'all this, that, and the third, or you New Testament dudes, and that's when a whole bunch of you can't get the shenanigans out. Once one person make a negative comment, they roll in. Everybody feel like, oh yeah, now that's the opening door. Everybody rolling in with negative comments. You know what I mean? And that'll destroy what y'all are trying to build. I'm just trying to help be a part of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so it's not worth. But all right, guys. We've been live for 3 hours and 14.
I know,
So
right, man. I know,
yeah,
right,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. Everybody have a blessed night.
yeah.
Absolutely, man. And I'll put them questions in. I might just do 5 questions. I don't know, and then let the audience do whatever they
Just
do.
think of any questions you want, and then the audience.
Yeah, man.
We gonna come up with stuff
I
anyways,
got you.
regardless.
I got you.
So, but all right, y'all.
I'll post them tomorrow in the
I,
afternoon sometime.
Yeah, you can take it. You can do it whatever.
all
We
right, y'all.
even if
Well,
we
have
don't
a
have any
blessed one.
questions,
And
All
we
right. Y'all
all
have a
right.
we'll come
blessed
up
one
with
too,
we'll
man.
come up with
We'll
something.
come up with stuff.
We'll always
We'll
come
come
up with
up.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Absolutely,
we always gonna
absolutely,
come up.
man. Absolutely, man.
All right, y'all.
All right.
All right,
Shalom,
man.
brothers.
Shalom, shalom, man.
Wait, where is this gonna be posted on RPK? Right?
I have no idea.
It's on
Oh,
boss. It's on boss's page. It's on boss's page, but I shared it. I shared it on my page already.
okay.
Okay.
All right.
Hey,
It's on
and tomorrow,
boss page. I think RPK, but I shared it.
the tomorrow, I'm gonna ask you again too. Was Abraham a Chaldean? I'm gonna ask you again.
All right. We'll
All
put
right,
it in a. Okay. All right. All
we'll
right.
get it. Yeah,
All
We'll get
right,
it.
we'll get it. All right then.
all right.
All
Yeah,
right.
shalom.
All right, y'all. Bye.